Hello and welcome to Cut Into the Bull in a post-truth apocalypse. I'm Ben and as always I'm joined by Gaz.
Hello.
And Mike.
Hello.
Sitting on a sunny Sunday afternoon, basking in the warm glow of an England victory at the World Cup. This World Cup will be over and we'll be out by the time this makes the end. But at the minute we're basking in the warm glow.
Remember, it's time to get on the hype train.
It's coming home.
They've won two. Spirit of 66.
Yeah.
We're fucking gonna shit on Spain if we play them. Are they still good? Are they still the best?
They haven't been great.
Shows you how much of a full-time football fan I am.
Yes.
Or not.
But we have an interesting topic today.
We do.
It's the Kill Dozer Rampage.
Yeah.
And we will get into that later on. But first, we're going to do some weird news.
Yep.
If this is your first episode, don't be alarmed. This may take half an hour or so. And then we'll crack on with the main sort of thrust of today's episode.
Thrust.
And have we got some full Alex at the end?
We have.
Fantastic.
Hey. The most popular game show in this flat. What's happening in the world of weird this
I've got a bit of true crime.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. This from the Sun, unfortunately. Dr. Opiate Cop Probe. Families call for Dr. Opiate, quotation marks. That's not actually her professional name.
That makes me think of like Dr. Octopus, but he's got fucking hypodermic needles instead of robot arms. Dr. Opiate.
Just drugs you and that's it.
What can I let in? Fucking touch me.
The first taste is free.
After that.
Keep coming back to Dr. Opiate.
He's a doctor, he'd know how to make the best shit.
Exactly, they have all the best drugs.
Yeah. Well, this one's got some sort of interesting
Okay, sorry,
drugs.
I
Her
cut
name
you
is
off.
Jane Barn and she's to face a police investigation as a report to be released blaming her for up to 833 overdose deaths.
Jesus. It's nearly 1,000 people.
Is
this
more
in
than-
England?
Yeah, is that more than Shipman?
Yeah.
Wow. That is up there with Dr. Shipman, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. The retired GP has been accused of loading elderly patients with fatal doses of diamorphine, the medical name for heroin, in the 1990s. At least they went out on a high.
Yeah. You
Even
know.
if they went before their time.
They were
They're
old.
patients, they're elderly patients. They're only clogging up the NHS anyway.
In her defence, yeah, she could have been just trying to clear up some beds
Yeah.
Oh, that's alright then.
for young people.
That's the mentality with that fucking NHS at the moment. The hands of the bastard tourists.
That's what it's come to.
Yeah,
Teresa's fault.
basically.
She put the drugs in Dr. Opiate's hands.
They'll fucking knight her after this.
Well, actually, this is in the 90s, so Labour would have been in.
Oh, how come she only just been? It's only just coming to light.
Well,
Yeah.
Labour didn't get into 1997.
Well, alright then, so there's still a chance.
Yeah, well, New Labour were just as bad as fucking Tories, weren't they? Let's face
Are
it.
you mocking St. Tony
Yeah,
of Blair,
he's one of the patron saints of this show.
Middle Eastern peace envoy, philanthropist of the year, noted war criminal? Is it you mocking him?
Save the Children, Patron of the Year.
Who are our four patron saints? Or was there three?
St. Ike, St. Alex and St. Tony.
Yeah, the holy trinity of bullshit. Oh, bless him. So how, let's get to the bottom of this story then.
So, heartbroken families have called for a retired GP to face a police probe after she was accused of being responsible for up to 833 overdose deaths. Dr. Jane Barton, dubbed Dr. Opiate, and that's fucking original, thank you, the Sun, allegedly prescribed fatal doses of diamorphine in the medical name for heroin during her time at Gosport War Memorial Hospital in the 1990s.
Oh, hang on, that's new to me. The medical name for heroin is diamorphine.
Yeah.
That sounds a lot less scummy, doesn't it?
It does, doesn't it?
You
Yeah.
fucking diamorphine head.
Yeah. It's better than fucking baghead, isn't it? You know what I mean? That sounds quite classy.
All our painkillers come from heroin.
Yeah,
opiates,
yeah.
so-
Well, there's the
Thank you.
opiate epidemic in America, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
I was
yeah,
telling my
yeah.
friend about it the other day. that,
Fentanyl, is it?
yeah, but because literally middle class, decent working people have got so addicted to these prescribed opiates that then the doctors took them off it, and they've been left with no choice but to turn to street heroin.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
The thing is, fentanyl is something like 50 times more powerful than heroin.
Oh man.
So how much heroin are you taking?
Well, that's it. It's why people are dying.
Well,
Because they're overdosing.
Yeah, you can't take too much. It's one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Incredible.
take too much
I've
of that.
seen Train Spotting, I know heroin works.
Oh, I remember. I don't. It's just popped into my head because we're talking about heroin. But do you remember that really famous, fucking awful, tragic photograph of the mother had found her daughter in her flat, slumped over, dead.
No,
You ever see it? It's horrible. And they released the picture to just kind of show people the tragicness of heroin addiction. It is literally a young girl slumped over, dead on the floor of a flat, like kneeling. She's took the hit. Died right there. Like.
Isn't the problem with overdoses not they're taking too much, it's the shit that they put in it, isn't it?
I imagine it's a combination of the two, to be honest. Because I bet if you had some really good, pure, strong shit,
You wouldn't be filling the syringe with that, would you?
well, you don't want too much
Most
of
of
it.
it's 50% baby laxatives, isn't it?
Yeah, well, they mix it with all kinds of poison and crap. But,
Rat poison, some people do. I mean, that's just asking for trouble.
everything.
That's a bad batch of smack.
Yeah, again, I've been listening to Doug Stanhope's book, and he helped his mother and assisted suicide. She took, I think it was 90 morphine pills.
Wow.
Apparently it took a long time to swallow the pills, and then it wasn't quick. She wasn't in any kind of pain at all. She got 90 pills of morphine in her, like, but yeah, it's not. I don't think there's any easy way to go, really. You know.
That lethal injection in Switzerland doesn't seem so bad.
I guess, but then there's a whole lead up to that where you've been imprisoned and. You know, it's not nice, is it?
No, you
I'd
know,
say
when
it's a
you
nice
go
way
to
to do it.
Dignitas and, you know, it's
I thought you
suicide.
meant in prison.
No, the prison one's meant to feel like fuck.
Yeah, yeah, Dignitas. Yeah, I wouldn't mind some of that.
I don't know, if I'm terminally ill, I'm becoming a smackhead.
Give me that rat poison smack.
People do it for far less good
You know what I
reasons
mean?
than that.
If you got like, the doctor says you got like 2 months to live and you're in agony, fuck it, I'm going out. Going out, fucking tripping my face off, you know.
Tripping balls.
Yeah.
I've always said, like, if I ever get the diagnosis, touch wood, you know, that I don't, sorry, bang the mic. If I ever get that diagnosis of it's terminal, I'm not going to be one of those heroic people who faces it bravely and raises lots of money and does like, I'm going to do 30 marathons in 30 days. I'm going to be angry. I'm going to be bitter. I'm going to be pissed off at the world, and you're not going to want to be around me for those last couple of years because I am going to drink and swear and say whatever I want and just be an angry little bastard.
Yeah.
A dying, angry little bastard.
Why would I want to run 30 marathons in 30 days? It's not benefiting me, is it?
Yeah, exactly. You're raising money, Ben. You're a hero. You're an inspiration.
No, I'm not. I want to die in 2 years.
But your legacy will live on.
What legacy? I raised a few quid that's probably been spent on admin costs for fucking charity.
Yeah. Well, I've always said I did work for a charity. I probably should say the name. But yeah, I worked for a charity, and it did amaze me when you looked at the car park at head office. Like, you know, everyone was getting paid very well, let's say, you know. So we have had a massive detour.
We have.
Should we get back to Dr.
Opiate? A major £13 million investigation examining 833 death certificates the 69-year-old signed will be published on Wednesday, the Sunday Times reported. James Jones, the former Bishop of Liverpool who chaired the Hillsborough Independent Panel, led the probe, of which questions why so many patients died and how the authorities responded to complaints. The report focuses on allegations which claim patients were almost routinely given strong painkillers in high doses, which in some cases led to their death. The GP inquiry is not expected to turn the case over to the police, so she could get away with it.
What? Well, what? I'm confused. So is she a Harold Shipman-style monster, or was she trying to put people out of their misery?
Well, that's the thing, but that was just so 1999, Mike, so it was St. Tony's mob in charge.
Yeah.
Oh. Yet more blood on his hands!
Grieving families are now calling for criminal proceedings if individuals are held responsible. The family of former naval officer Stan Carby, who was just 65 when he died, within 24 hours of being admitted to rehabilitation following a series of mini-strokes, called for a full probe into Dr. Barton's actions. His daughter, Cindy Grant, said the police never concluded a proper investigation into our allegations, and it's time they looked at bringing criminal proceedings against those responsible. I think they ought to immediately look again at the case of Dr. Jane Barton, under whose care so many died. Maybe she was just a really shit doctor.
Yeah.
That must happen.
Well, no, I think they know, Ben. I mean, you're a doctor. I think you know how much you're prescribing to people. If you're over-prescribing and then they die, I mean, if it happens once, it's happened fucking hundreds of times.
800 times.
Yeah.
'Cause I mean, I fuck up at work. Regular, but not 800 fucking times, and nobody's life is in my hands, you know? So, yeah, what do you think? Is she a monster or is she an angel of death? Is she putting these little old dears who are in pain?
I think that it always starts off as the angel of death and ends up with some kind of sadistic enjoyment for it, that power of life and death, the power kick. I think that's where it ultimately ends up.
Plus, also, you don't have to take your prescription.
Oh no, she's administering it
Oh,
directly.
shit!
She's in the hospital.
She
like.
has physically, with her hands. Oh, okay, that's a different story then.
Yeah.
She's Mrs. Shipman,
Yeah.
isn't she?
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh,
I'd say so.
imagine if her and Dr. Shipman got together and made a doctor baby.
Well, that's unlikely because he's dead.
Oh yeah.
He hung himself, didn't he? Never made it to trial. Yeah, hung himself in his cell.
Well, you know.
Or did he?
Or did he? Maybe, or did he have a sex change?
Oh
from
shit!
Her? 'Cause she, with the best will in the world, old Dr. Opiate there has got a mean case of man face.
Yeah, she ain't pretty.
No, so maybe it's Shipman without the beard.
Is it? Look, if we were proper journalists and we had some technology, we could do some side-by-side comparisons of the facial structures of Shipman and Dr. Opiate. But yeah,
So we can't be arsed.
we can't be bothered. If you're
I'm
listening,
drinking a beer. Gaz has got a joint on the go. Mike's sat here doing the computer. I mean, we haven't got time for that shit.
what's the
Nobody
motto?
got time for that shit.
What's the motto of the show? You, listener, are the fact checker, not us.
I thought the motto of the show was "Don't join a cult."
Fuck you! Hey, oh, hey! Breaking fucking news!
Oh, go on.
Gaz has got a cult member.
Oh, that's a fucking guru.
One member has inboxed me. That's one more cult member than you.
I'm not trying to start a cult. Maybe a cult of personality around me, perhaps, but not a full-on cult.
One member. Admittedly, I haven't actually received her £2.50 membership fee, but she said
Yeah.
she was interested. Little bit. I did send you a screenshot of the message. Little bit disturbed that she referred to me as Mein Führer.
That's something you're going to need to clamp down on.
Yeah.
You don't want that comparison.
So my cult is a Nazi-free zone. It's not that sort of cult at all. It's just a sort of cult where I take your money.
Tax-free.
£2.50 and one person at a time.
And of course, I have joined a legitimate cult now.
Oh yeah, what's
I'm
this?
a cult member.
Wait, what's the name of the cult?
The Temple of the Jedi Order.
Hey!
I want to learn to become a Jedi.
That's not a cult, that's just a Jedi.
Well, it's a religion, but it's
Not a religion.
It's a culty religion.
It's not a
So
religion.
what,
It can be classed as a cult.
are there physical churches
They are,
you
yeah,
can go
there
to?
are.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm up for culty
Based
with
in
you.
Texas. I don't know how
Oh,
many.
right, that's a bit of a trek.
I don't know how many are in England, like, but
None, probably. You could
You
start
could start one.
I could start one.
There you
Why
go.
not?
That's like immediate promotion to master.
There you go.
Jedi Master, son.
I will be starting my training to become a Jedi Knight soon.
what? Pray tell, what does that
Basically,
involve?
Have you got to go and find a green midget and piggyback him round?
that would be awesome. I wish it was that. That would be awesome.
A green midget.
You're going to paint a little person green and carry him round in a shitty rucksack through the woods? Is that what your fucking training is?
Pretty much. I wish it was. From what I can gather, it's basically like a philosophy degree.
Hey, it could be.
But it sounds interesting.
There are definitely.
The most pointless type of degree.
No, listen, I'm all jokes aside, there are honestly much worse ways to spend your time than learning the philosophy of a Jedi.
That's it.
So I've got a Jedi Knight dressing gown.
Okay.
Can I join too?
You can join, you can sign up online.
You're basically Luke fucking Skywalker, mate. You've got the robes.
Exactly. I'm more of an Obi-Wan.
Okay, have you got a plastic one?
I am actually. But sadly it's a Sith one, it's a Darth Vader replica.
Well, can't you turn a bad saber good?
Do I have to have a... Why can't a good Jedi have a red saber? Maybe they just like the colour?
But that saber will be responsible for the physical murder of a lot of people, won't it? And will it not be carry through some of the remnants of that? Will you not be tainted by its evil?
No, I'm a Jedi Master eventually, and I'd be alright. Well, I could go Sith.
Nothing.
Well, that's no good.
I was about to say there's nothing wrong with
And then,
that. There really is.
and then kill everyone in Mike's cult.
You bastard.
Here's a challenge then. I want You to set up the Jedi Order, the first one in the UK, a physical temple. It could be here, your flat. Ben, at your place, you start the UK's first Sith temple.
Yeah.
And we give it 6 months or 12 months to see who gets the most people living at their house.
I can only have one other person.
They could go in the shed, the garden.
No, I can only have one other person. There's only ever 2 Sith.
Ah, yes. But there is more than 2.
Well, there's only 2 at a time, isn't there? There's gonna be, they don't gang around in big groups.
Okay, well...
They used to.
Fuck my idea, then.
And it'd be a very selfish cult, because I'd probably be deposed as top Sith, because that's the only way you get to be top Sith, is to kill the guy that trained you, isn't it?
That's it. That's basically it, isn't
You'd
it?
have to sleep with one eye open.
Exactly, or gripping my pillow tight.
So being a Sith actually sucks, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's you get more power quicker
Right, yeah.
than a Jedi who take years to get to that. You just get it quick because you're cheating in a way.
Yeah.
And you get a cool red lightsaber, or that double-ended saber, which is that's pretty.
That
fun.
was
That's
pretty... Do you remember the first time you saw that?
Yeah.
Fire up in the trailer.
Yeah, and it was much better than fucking Kylo Ren's shitty one that sounds like he's going to conk out all the time.
No, but I like that though because it's homemade.
Yeah, but it sounds like he's going to conk out. He sounds like he's got engine troubles.
Because he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, does he?
Well, he must know.
I
Luke
like that.
taught him, didn't he?
No, I think that's a nice little story touch. I do, and because it's so, and the 2 things coming out the side, you'll know what it's actually called on a sword.
A
Is it
cross
the
hilt,
hilt?
yeah.
Ah, right. It's not a hilt.
And,
It's not a hilt on Kylo's. It's just it's so crudely made that they're sort of exhausts.
Oh, right.
It's kind of like spitting out energy.
I suppose you could punch him in the face with it, though, couldn't you? That'd do some damage. Lightsaber their eye out.
Yeah. I'm a fan of Kylo.
Yeah, so anyway.
So in a year's time, I could be sitting here a Jedi Knight.
Officially?
Yeah.
Officially.
Right, well, put that on your CV.
Well, according to the census, I did put Jedi as my religion.
Yeah, but it wasn't officially accepted as a religion.
Well, it doesn't
on
matter,
the
put it
census. You just wasted your time writing Jedi.
Hey, hang on. So the government are fucking dictating what's a religion and
Yeah.
what isn't. How dare they?
And they have actually they've been in the news because last year I think they wanted to become a religion for obviously tax-free status.
Yeah, it all comes down to tax-free status.
And the British government declined it.
Oh, well, they need some richer members and they get it.
I mean, what harm are they going to do? It's not as if you're going to be hearing about on the news like, today, 6 Jedis in a transit van ran down and killed 13 innocent people on a busy Birmingham street. It's just not going to...
No,
They're
it's
fucking
totally against
Jedis.
what they're.
Leave them to it. They
It's
can
all
do what they
peace
want.
and love, innit?
And
Yeah.
you've only got a plastic lightsaber at best.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure we'll have samurai swords or something till someone invents a
You
lightsaber.
can't use a samurai sword, you're cutting your fucking leg off. You're the least likely person to wield a katana.
He could
I
learn.
could learn.
You could, but it takes years.
So does everything.
That's it. Everything worth doing, you've got to put the time and effort in.
Yeah,
I watched Creed last night. One
Oh, yeah.
punch, one round. No, shit, I've got it wrong. One step, one punch, one round at a time. That's how Mike does it. One swing at a time. One
it.
practice session at a time. And hopefully you won't lose any limbs.
He's going to lose a limb.
Or is that how your cock got into the
Lightsabered off.
At least it'd be caught. No,
Yeah.
wait, what's the word?
Cauterized.
Thank you.
But I sent it through that wormhole.
In the hope it would attach itself to someone else.
Find its way home.
Find it.
Hoping the next leap will be the final leap home.
Oh, so
Every time it comes, it just changes into someone else. The universe.
on that note, Mrs. Shipman, whatever her name is,
Yeah.
Dr. Opiate, is she evil or is this some terrible misunderstanding or coincidence?
Evil.
Evil.
I think she probably started off with good intentions and then it ended up just being some kind of sadist kick for her.
I concur.
And should we have the next one?
Evil bitch.
You know, Abby said that the demon exorcism thing was getting worse.
Yeah.
Well, occult exorcists say the Catholic Church makes demons worse.
Okay.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Let's say you're a window fitter and you go around smashing windows in your spare time. You're creating business for yourself, aren't
That's
you?
not a bad idea, actually.
You know what I mean?
It's not a bad business venture.
It's the same thing. If the Catholic Church are invoking demons, then who you going to call? They're the ones that come round to...
Well, the Ghostbusters, obviously.
Here's a question, sorry. Are exorcisms free, or do you pay for them?
Oh, that's a good question.
So we'll do some real time. Oh no, I can't. My phone's doing. I was going to actually Google it then and find out, but fuck it. Someone listening, Google, are exorcisms free?
Yeah, let us know.
Even if you're listening in the future, inbox us. Yeah, I don't know.
Into the past.
Oh, you're messing with my mind.
Right. Anyway, let's see what they say about this.
Oh, yeah.
If the person in need of an exorcism isn't a Christian, then why do you have to call a Catholic priest? Because only Christians get possessed, obviously.
Oh, is that the answer?
Well, that's my answer.
Okay. Well, you call the Catholic Church because I could have said they're the only game. They've got a monopoly on exorcisms.
Yeah.
They're the only ones that believe in it.
Well,
You've got them in America. You've got the sort of evangelical exorcisms. There's a show about three
Still the same
hot
branch.
triplets who go and exorcise demons. I've seen that. It's weird. These three hot chicks.
It's a porn
No,
thing you watch.
no.
there's a porn version of everything.
I don't think this is a porn version. They
Sexism.
The sexorcist.
I'm so putting that into you, porn later. See what comes up. If it's not already a thing, we're fucking copyrighting that.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, the sexorcist, you're a genius.
Thank you.
Yeah, but you can't star in it. You've got no penis.
Oh, fuck.
You could direct it.
There you go.
Yeah.
We could be the fluffer. You're not fluffing me.
No.
Cheers, Bob.
So, in April of this year, the Vatican held a week-long conference to train priests in the rite of exorcism. Only a week? Is that all it takes? Mike, you should join the Catholic Church. You get a week, you can be an exorcist.
To be
a year
fair-
to be a Jedi Knight.
Exactly.
To be fair, what an exorcism, all it fucking entails is repeating chants, doesn't it? And throwing a bit of water around. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
how long's it going to take? If
Well,
it was anything longer than a few weeks, I'd be pissed off.
Yeah, but you're literally battling the denizens of the underworld, trapped in someone's flesh. Oh, that's all right. I did a week's course. I did a 3-day first aid course. That's like that equivalent of that, isn't it? Here's your certificate. Go out there and exercise someone.
I
What
know.
if you end up with like Lucifer himself on your first one and just kicks the shit out of you? You never go back.
I know how to do an exorcism. My mother does not suck cocks in hell. She's a lovely woman. Be quiet. Boom. And when the mother's not looking, you fucking suck the girl in the face. And she starts making all them noises. I didn't need a week in a fucking school to know
It
that.
could just be a week off though, couldn't it?
Yeah, you could just bunk off, couldn't you?
Yeah.
It's a week of not dealing with the people that come into your fucking church and do your head in with their fucking bullshit real life stories.
Yeah, but now they know that you're an exorcist, they might start coming in saying, I think I'm possessed.
Well, we need to get to the bottom of whether exorcisms cost money, because we could set up a rival firm.
Yeah,
There we go.
Is Ghostbusters a copyrighted term?
probably.
Ghost fuckers.
Demon
No,
Busters?
it's not right. Demon Busters. Boom.
There you go.
Yeah.
Absolutely perfect. We get an old ambulance.
Street turning up in a fucking old ambulance. Jumpsuits on.
And we need a token black guy.
Yeah, because Mike won't black himself up.
I'm glad.
Just
That's
saying.
good. Ben, it's good for us. We're associated with Mike. It's good if he doesn't do that.
Well, I'm just,
Okay, stop trying to push it on him.
I just think it'd be funny.
It'd be funny watching me get beat up.
Yeah, that's it.
We got to set up our rival firm, I think. And if the Catholic Church don't charge money for it, doesn't mean we can't.
Exactly.
You get what you pay for. We offer a premium service.
Yeah.
You know, we trained for 2 weeks.
Where the holy
Gates of
exorcism?
hell.
We just did a shitload of Ouija boards for a couple of weeks, and hey, we know how to do that now.
Hey, we just hung around in Woodside and Brookside, which are areas of Telford. You know, we hung around there for a few weeks. You see some fucking demons.
Yeah, but they're on crack or meth.
Still pretty evil.
Crack demon.
Yeah, that's where your samurai sword could come in handy. You could just stab them to the heart.
I mean, we haven't got nuclear containment backpacks with lasers, so baseball bat.
Baseball bat and a super soaker full of holy water.
Piss.
Or mixed with piss. Actually, you could just bless the piss.
Well, in theory, yeah. Can't you?
Yeah, I think so.
Because I don't think they just do
You've
it.
only got to say the Lord's Prayer over water to bless
And then
it.
it's holy water.
Then it's holy water, yeah.
Piss has got to have a high water percentage in its ingredients.
God's water. Piss.
Holy piss water.
Holding someone down and repeatedly pumping the super soaker full of piss into their mouth. And the power of Christ compels you! Drink the piss!
See, you know how to do exorcisms.
I only watched The Exorcist once.
Exactly. You don't need a week's training, man. Fuck. Should we try and get through this article?
Yeah. So they held that week-long training course,
Right.
claiming there were 500,000 cases of demonic possession last year in Italy alone.
Wow.
The Catholic Church attributes the rise of demonic activity to people dabbling in the occult, particularly through the use of tarot cards and Ouija boards. Exorcism and the Catholic Church seem inseparable thanks to films like The Exorcist and The Exorcism of Emily Rose, as well as the Church's own proclamations of exclusivity. So I presume they're saying they're the only ones that can do it.
Yeah.
But in reality, the earliest evidence of exorcism predates Christianity by hundreds of years. I think they'll find that's most of the Christian beliefs as well.
Is the word evidence in fucking quotes? It better be. Where
Now,
are
should
we?
we scroll down and see what this theistic Satanist has to say?
A theistic Satanist.
Yes, theistic Satanist, Shia Bile? Billy?
Billet.
Billet?
It's got an accent
Oh
thing
yeah,
on it.
so it has. Was 17 when he conducted his first exorcism, mostly out of necessity. Growing up, there were spirits that attacked me, but I didn't have the tools to protect myself. I was a victim of these things. This exorcism was the first time I fought back. The
No, my friend,
32-year-old told
you-
advice.
You were the victim of mental health issues, which can be treated with pharmaceutical drugs. You were not the victim of demons attacking you, because they don't fucking exist. Am I wrong? I don't know.
Well, we're basing the
Do you
entire
believe in
business plan on what they do.
them? That's a fucking. We'd have to believe in them to take people's fucking money.
That's true.
Do you know what I mean? It's a con. Just like the
You're
fucking
into these.
church.
You're into these cons, aren't you?
I
Your
want-
cults, the demon busting service.
I want to get rich quick for as little effort as possible. And if we have to rip off a few suckers in the process,
Yeah, I'm down with that.
demon busters.
Yeah.
Carry
What's
on
his
with
name? Shia Billy.
Yeah.
He encountered a dark force during an astral projection.
Yeah.
During the projection, I went to my grandmother's, and in the backyard, I see this gigantic, 7 to 8 feet tall, black shade of static, knife-like energy, and it started chasing me. I immediately just ran back into my body.
Oh, fuck off.
Soon thereafter, Billy moved into his grandmother's home, and it wasn't long before strange things started happening. Random illnesses beset his friends and family members, lights flickered on and off, and unexplained noises occurred throughout the house. I thought it had to do with the entity that I had encountered, and it felt like a generational entity, a generational curse. Yes,
Power cut, you cunt.
couldn't you sort of describe schizophrenia as a generational curse?
He's schizophrenic, and there was a power cut. These fucking people.
Some people got ill that he knew.
Oh God, I know sick people. I don't know any demons. It's mental health issues. All of this is mental health, attention seeking, and mental health.
Well,
I know a lot about both of those things.
Well, the entity was following him wherever he would go, and was even encountered by his boss, an evangelical Christian, who Billy describes as magical in his own way.
I bet he was.
One day he came up to me and said, "Hey, there's a demon in the production room." Before describing the black shade Billy knew all too well.
Imagine that conversation.
Yeah, you said a demon in the production room.
Yeah,
Is he working here now?
Yeah, I know all about
When
it.
do we take the demon on? When do you start?
Oh, that's John. He's part of the furniture. Him. He's been haunting us for years. Fucking load of cockwash, all of it.
But this guy's using Satan. He says, this is what he says: "In the name of Satan, I command you to stop. In the name of Satan, I command this stops immediately." How can you say in the name of Satan if you're trying to get rid of a demon? Isn't that what aren't they Satan's mates?
Well, yeah, that's what I thought.
So how can you be a Satanist unless you go around getting the Holy Ghost out of people?
You're not saying one of these people are contradicting themselves, are you, Ben?
I'm not saying that they're
With the-
attention-seeking, mentally ill people. No, guys, no.
He's going against Satan's will.
Yeah, how does he know?
Yeah.
That demon wasn't just hanging around, shouting him about, being his mate, helping him out in ways he didn't know, just because You know, there's a demon in the house and the power keeps going off. So what? You just got a shitty fucking electrical system, mate.
And he's trying to warn you about
Yeah,
it.
exactly. Don't go to that circuit breaker.
A week later, Grandma electrocutes herself with a toaster.
Should have listened to the demon.
Should have listened to the demon.
Oh man.
I've had enough
That
of him now.
haunted toaster.
Well, I'm sure we've discussed it before, but as we know, none of us have any short-term memory or long-term for that matter.
No.
Don't know why.
No, we did the last Alex Jones twice
Yeah.
in the spin.
Did we?
Oh, yeah. Well, so what are your feelings on demons?
I think it's bullshit. Innit?
Me
It's just
too.
people who are mentally ill. But if there's a way to make a quick buck out of it, I'm in.
Look,
Me
I'm not
too.
saying there might be something out there, you know, on the other side, as it were, whatever that side might be, dimensions, whatever.
I will go for that there could be multidimensional entities passing through.
Well, I'm a believer of the multiverse, I think. So yeah, maybe there's some slippage between dimensions and realities.
Yeah.
But
Let's
it's
face it.
But it's not
They're
like,
interdimensional
ooh.
reptiles that control the world. Let's face it. Let's not deny us anymore.
The Queen's a fucking lizard, so... But no, I just think it's attention-seeking mental health issues. But I do also know I've had people who I otherwise consider to be perfectly sensible and sane convinced that they've had a ghost experience. A ghost dog barking in the wall, somebody told me once, but...
It's like it's the dog
It
down
could
the
be
road.
the- yeah,
barking.
the
Next door dog.
Well, the house was empty, to be fair. But I don't know.
Could be a jackal.
I don't believe ghosts. Interdimensional lizards that pretend to be the Queen. I'm up for that. You know, secret military bases underground. Yeah.
Kenny
fine with
Hopkinsville encounter.
No. Humanzees. You know, but ghosts. No. Not having it. I'm afraid.
No,
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe one day I'll get scared shitless by a fucking parademon from hell. But until that day, no.
Oh man,
I mean, he used to say they aren't aliens. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, but why are they just switching the lights on and off?
I think it's
maybe their being there interferes with electricity somehow.
Okay, but maybe it's Morse code for take me to your leader.
I just think if you're a demon, you got better things to do than to piss around with someone's electrics. You could be out there causing havoc, doing demony shit.
There are cooler things to do, aren't there?
So I'm just gonna fuck with this guy's electrics for a bit and just wind him up.
They possess people, don't they?
Yeah.
So instead of fucking about with Billy No Fucking Buddy over here, flicking his lights on and off and making him feel schizophrenic, you could be inhabiting the body of like the
Porn
world's biggest
star.
rock star, porn star, anybody.
Anybody's body.
You know?
You'd have the time of your life.
From Jeremy.
Maybe not now.
I don't know. Probably still gets more than your average human half his age.
Hang on, isn't he dead?
No.
Nah, he's still alive. Ron Jeremy.
Oh, I'm not sure. He could be, but I'm
not
sure I
really.
seem to recall him dying.
I don't know what you're talking about. Who's Ron Jeremy?
He's a
I know who he is. I'm just pretending I don't. I don't watch such filthy things.
Should we move on then?
Yeah.
Fuck the demon, man.
This one's fun. The toy UFO taking off showers for teaching kids that the Nazis had achieved space travel. Or do they just not want us to know that they achieved space travel?
What's the toy, man?
It's a flying saucer with guns on it and Nazi symbol. The German Iron Cross symbol, which the Luftwaffe used.
Okay, but there's no Nazi symbols on it, though, is it?
No, but it's still shooting down.
Isn't that the Nazi
We've
symbol?
seen pictures of prototypes of this Nazi-style flying saucer thing, haven't we? They were
Yeah.
never real, but they were like designs for,
Yeah.
you know. So
It's called a
I think that's
Howler
awesome.
2.
well, that's a cool
Yeah.
model, man.
Yeah, it is.
So that white cross thing is Nazi
It's
associated.
it's German associated. It's like a universal symbol for the German look. You know, like our RAF has the roundels.
Yes.
And the American Air Force has the star.
Mm.
That's like their version
But-
of that, the little cross, iron cross thing.
German doesn't mean Nazi, does it?
No, but it was shooting down American bombers on the illustration on the
Oh,
box.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, it was, yeah.
Yeah. But they're not from any particular country, are they? They're
I
just...
think they look like B-29s, in all fairness.
Okay. Well,
I wouldn't know, I'm not an aviator, but
I think
I'll
that's
trust Ben on that one.
I think it looks cool. Yeah, Ben's the resident military expert. So, but I think it's a cool looking model.
It is.
69 parts.
Hey, my favourite number.
20 centimeters long. The Hanabu too.
Should have been in 666 parts.
So probably one person complained about this, and the entire fucking line's been taken off the shelves.
Well, toys and models manufacturer Revell, based in North Rhine-Westphalia, has announced that one of their models, an aircraft described as a war machine during the Nazi period, will no longer be produced. A spokesperson from Revell said on Monday that the company will stop manufacturing and distributing the product, adding the criticism of it is absolutely justified.
Oh, for
so
fuck's sake.
they didn't figure that out in the planning meeting. What you got, Bob? Oh, sorry, what have you got, Hans? What you got this week? I've got this flying saucer with the Iron Cross on it. It's, look at the box art. It's fucking ace. It's shooting down B-29 bombers.
It looks like that famous Nazi flying saucer.
It looks like a Nazi flying saucer. Yeah, let's make that.
But I just fail to see. Okay, it might be in bad taste, but what harm comes from a few people? I mean, how many of these fucking models are they actually going to sell? And what sort of people glue together models? You know, people like me. But
I've done that as well.
Yeah, sad people.
I'm actually tempted to go and buy this.
Yeah, mate, the price of that will have fucking skyrocketed because of all this, and it being in the news and it being recalled. It'll be on eBay for fucking silly money.
But they did design these things, didn't they? So it was in the planning stage.
They designed, and whether or not they got them to work or not is a completely different episode.
Yeah.
Or did they?
Well,
I've seen those documentaries.
I've seen Iron Sky.
Oh, I love that movie. I did see like a teaser for Iron Sky too. I don't know whatever.
Yeah, it's something to do with the Hollow Earth.
Ah, yes, I remember seeing Hitler riding a dinosaur, or a Nazi riding a dinosaur.
Well, why not?
Yeah, like a pet one.
I like a pet dinosaur. That'd be sweet.
Chris Pratt did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because you made me watch the movie Threads for our most recent movie episode, which is the most depressing film of all time. Well, next time it's my turn to choose a movie. Have you ever seen that? I can't remember what it's called. It's got Whoopi Goldberg in it, and she stars with a dinosaur from space.
My God!
Theodorus Rex or something.
I know that. I'm aware of that.
Oh, well, I'm making you watch it.
It was a major flop.
Yeah, because it was dog shit, but I'm making you watch it.
Oh, thanks.
Am I going to sit there and take narrative on that?
Yes, you've got to sit there and make your meticulous notes like you do about the fucking Whoopi Goldberg alien dinosaur movie, because you made me watch the fucking...
I didn't make you watch
Mike
Threads.
made me
Don't
watch
worry.
Then next one, do Das Boot.
No, the next one. All right, then I'll pick the next
Downfall.
one. Oh no, it'll be the rise and fall of the Roman Empire. It's 6 hours fucking long, and you've got to make the notes. It's in 2 parts.
Oh no.
That's at least 4 episodes. And you two are making the notes for that.
I like the Romans though, it's quite interesting.
It's a very good film. Yeah.
Are there shorter ones though?
No.
Okay.
It's the old epics when you didn't have CGI. You just got 10,000 blokes dressed up in the uniforms and told to hit each other.
Yeah, good start, good times. People used to die during making films back in the day.
Yeah, well,
like
you know,
Ben-Hur.
all
and
worth
stuff like
it. That's a myth.
Is that a myth?
I don't know if that's a myth or not, the Ben-Hur deaths. Maybe. I can't remember.
Wasn't it a chariot?
Yeah,
accident?
the chariot race, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. So what's the story in this story? That they just fucked up?
Yeah, well, the German Children's Protection Association and the Military History Museum in Dresden had previously criticised the... Bit windy.
Professionalism.
I had to belch, it just happened. I couldn't stop it. Criticised the product for its inaccurate representation of history. So in its product description, the toy is called a round aircraft and the first object in the world capable of flying in space. The description goes on to say the aircraft can fly up to speeds of 6,000 kilometres an hour and was not produced after its test phase in 1943 due to the Second World War.
Did they put that...
You must have a little product description, yeah.
Yeah, they put that little bit in the end, that caveat, not produced.
Yeah. Just developed but not produced.
What's the problem with that then?
Because they're marketing it. The thing is...
Are they talking about the actual model or the real Nazi one?
Well, this is it. Are they marketing it as a fantasy model? Or are they marketing it as like, we make historical aircraft kits and this is our next kit?
To be fair, if you're a kid and you see that model and it makes you think that, oh, we must have had flying space military
the Germans
sources.
had flying
You're a
sources.
fucking idiot, and we haven't got to worry about that kid. Because, come on, even the least educated child... I mean, what's the age range on this model kit? It can't be kids under like 5 or 6 because of small parts.
It's got 69 parts.
So come on, if you're fucking 10 years old and you think there's...
It's a level 4 model.
Yeah, so come on, alright, if you're 12 years old and you think that the Nazis had fucking space saucers that actually worked and that B-12 bombers went into space and had space battles with them, then fuck you, we haven't got to worry about them. They're not
Probably
gonna...
half the population, to be fair.
No, they're not that stupid, are they? Are they? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess. You know, for once I was being the positive one. You know.
I don't know, maybe not half.
But the Germans are very touchy about shit like this, aren't they? Understandably.
You know.
In all fairness. So they're probably sitting there and going, oh, that ain't right. Don't like that. You're glorifying the Nazis, aren't you, effectively?
Yeah, but I don't think it does any
But
fucking harm.
it was an actual machine that was designed.
It was designed, but whether or not they actually got a model, working prototype or not is a different matter.
Well, I'll have objection to the wording then.
That's just the description on the toy box. That's what it
Yeah.
says. That's what they're marketing it as.
They should have said this, straight out the gate. This was never actually made, but it was in design.
Well, you can mock up all the designs you want. It's just on a table, isn't it? It's not a physical thing.
But they probably weren't expecting They underestimated the pussification of the modern world and just how fucking touchy everybody is. And they probably thought, it's not going to be a problem, we don't sell that many models. But it's it's clickbait, it's a news story, someone's offended, somebody's pissed their pants because...
The German Children's Protection Association.
Feelings are being hurt, and we all know how dangerous that is.
Oh, you Nazi.
Yeah, I am. So get it off the shelves. Don't let anyone have their fun building their models because some little fucker got their feelings hurt about your pretend Nazi spaceship. It's fucking ridiculous. There's things that don't they have like immigration problems and some like serious stuff happening in Germany, mate. I'm not the world's
No, the
biggest
crime
political...
rate's actually gone down.
Oh, okay, but
Trump claimed it had gone up.
oh yeah, maybe I'm falling for the propaganda, but like, what I'm saying is, it's got to be more important fucking things.
Well, I mean, there's children being locked in cages and in sort of internment camps.
Like in the reggae box.
I wasn't actually going to do a reggae box this week. I was quite thrilled about the World Cup, but that has annoyed me. I won't deny it. But the thing is, I thought by the time this has gone to air, that would have sorted itself out.
The World Cup?
No, the children locked in internment camps.
Oh, I don't know. I think that's
going to
quite
continue.
deep.
I think.
I thought Donny had stopped it now.
I don't think he has he?
I don't know.
What do you do?
No. Sorry, no. He's locking the kids up with their parents now. He's not separating them
Yeah, still locking them in cages, but
with their mum and dad.
And you had people on CNN and that, on the news stations in America, fucking trying to defend that. Trying to defend that policy.
Yeah.
Well, they have to. That's the nature of party politics, isn't it? They've got to go on there.
That's some cold shit, man.
Well, they're cold fucking people, aren't they?
Yeah.
I'm not
reptile
defending it.
shit, that is.
There you go, it's your reptile brain.
They've locked the kids in the cages to feed off the organ energy.
Yep.
Right? Which powers the reptilians. That's what it is. There you go. I've just solved this problem.
I believe that more than I believe fucking ghosts and demons.
You want me saying that when we're demon busters? Our badge could have like a little red dude with horns and a circle and a cross through him.
There you go.
Yeah.
As long as it's not too close to the,
Now we'll put some flames around it.
Yeah,
cool.
there you go. A flaming cross with the line through it. There you go. Right, we'll get there. I think we should work on, before we worry about the logo, actually getting the funds to buy the ex-ambulance to drive around in.
Well, you should use your works van.
Okay, I guess. I don't know if it's insured for exorcism purposes, but...
We're not going to do the exorcism in the van.
Oh, okay.
Well, you just use it to get a
I'm used to kidnapping people and putting them in the back of the van, as you've stated on many previous... Yes, my murder mattress.
All that dry blood.
Mate, love, I think you've got a demon inside you.
Well, you will have in a minute.
Step into the back of the van.
We'll just use it to transport all our super soakers and bottles of piss about.
For the record, I use it to deliver hardware and DIY supplies, not murder prostitutes, okay?
You're a professional driver, we're always going to level that accusation at you.
Oh well, moving on.
Anyway, I really like that model.
Me too.
And I really like the artwork on the box. I think it's fucking sweet.
Me too. I think it's an overreaction as usual.
Yep.
It's just, it's a non-story.
Yeah, so that's the weird news for this week so far. We're not doing a bit more at the end.
Yeah, we've got something at the end. Should take a break.
Should take a piss break, and we'll be back to discuss the Kill Dozer Rampage.
Kill Dozer.
And we're back. So let's talk about the Kill Dozer Rampage of June the 4th, 2004. It took place in Granby, Colorado by a guy called Marvin Heemeyer. Not He-Man.
Although he did a pretty He-Man-ish... Nah, no he didn't. Sorry, that joke didn't work at all. Moving on.
Yeah. He'd been living in Grand Lake, Colorado, which is 16 miles away from Granby, for 10 years, and he owned a muffler repair shop.
Now, I didn't look into this, but I'm pretty sure mufflers and just exhaust.
Yeah, it's something to do with the exhaust,
Yeah, muff.
Yeah.
Apparently it was quite strange that he moved up there, because he had no family at all in that area, so maybe a clean break.
Am I wrong in saying, isn't it something like population of about 1,500 or something like that?
It's not a big town.
Very small town, so yeah, but some people just want to escape.
Yeah.
Maybe that was the only opportunity for the business there.
That's true, no one had a muffler repair shop in...
There we go.
Cheap property.
Had no family in the area, but was described as a likeable person, and his brother did say, because he did have a brother, said that he would bend over backwards for anybody. I think the events of this episode will show us that's completely different. This all kind of starts in 1992 when he bought 2 acres of land to build a muffler shop. He also then arranged to sell that land, because he bought it for quite cheap, to a guy called Cody DeChef to build a concrete manufacturing plant, but Marvin kept on raising the price on him. So after some legal wrangles, which cost him a fair bit of cash...
Yeah, it can do, can it?
In 2001, this dragged on that long, the zoning commission approved the construction of the concrete plant, but he now objected because he'd been using the land for access to his muffler shop. And he even went to the extremes of putting rusted old cars on there and shit like that, and he was fined and...
Trying to put people off.
He was a bit of a dick about it. He was fined $2,500 for violations.
Well, you do the time.
Right.
I mean, you did a crime. Jesus Christ, what's wrong with me?
But anyway, so he then leased his company, because he had enough, to a trash company and sold the property several months before. But 2 years previously, because he was planning on making a road through that land to get better access to his shop, he bought a bulldozer.
Right.
Nice big bulldozer.
Yeah, because to be fair to the guy, so they're building this thing and it's gonna cut off the access road that he's used to using. He says to the council, I will buy the equipment and the materials and build this access road myself. It won't cost you a thing. That's a fairly reasonable approach, isn't it? But they turn him down, and it's key because that's why the man had a very large bulldozer. Well, that's why he ended up with a bulldozer in his possession.
How is it?
It was bought for... Yeah, I know it.
A bulldozer induced breakdown.
But I mean, he had the bulldozer for sane reasons, is what I'm trying to get to. He didn't buy the bulldozer with the intention of ever doing anything mental with it. As far as we know, he bought it intending to do their job for them in a way and find a reasonable solution to this problem.
Yep.
And they said, "Fuck you, buddy. Fuck you."
Yes. Notes found by investigators after the rampage, because he did take notes on in the build up to this and recorded himself, which we'll hear a bit of later on. Indicated the primary motivation for this epic rampage, my epic, added, was his plan to stop the concrete plant being built next to his shop. Didn't want it, even though he sold the guy the land in the first place. He held several grudges over the zoning approval. He wrote, Melvin, "I was always willing to be reasonable until I had to be unreasonable."
Marvin.
Sorry.
But yeah. Sorry, I cut you off because that is a really good quote.
It is, I like it. I actually quite like that.
Yeah, what was it again?
"I was always willing to be reasonable until I had to be unreasonable."
Yeah, you see. Never push
him to it.
Never push a good man too far.
Never push a man with a bulldozer too far.
Yeah. Especially one of them. And for the listener, if you haven't seen the images of this, because there's video footage and plenty of images.
There's a live news feed. I watched that. It was great.
We're not talking the sort of small bulldozer that you might see on housing estate construction site. We're think of the biggest earth mover. It's a beast.
Yeah, it's a big thing.
I've got the actual model here. Hang on, sorry, if anyone's...
Ooh, technical.
I did write that down, but I can't find it.
On this piece
I've got it here. But
it's a Komatsu D335A. So look that up, and I'll give you the specs of what, because I haven't got the specs of it before his tamperings. I've got the specs of it afterwards, so we can go through those later.
Yeah, definitely. I found that quite interesting because he did make a really good armour for it. I mean, it's like, that's some thought behind it.
It was impressive.
It was impressive. This plan, anyway, took about 1.5 years to enact, but old Melvin or Marvin? I forgot. Marvin. I keep saying Melvin. Marvin found it interesting. I was never caught. Several men visited the shed. He built this in his shed, and several people visited his shed.
Yeah.
Not one of them passed comment on, hey, why are you building a giant armour-plated cab for that bulldozer?
To be fair though, wouldn't your first thought maybe be something like, oh, he's probably going to do some serious earth moving with that, you know? Like, my first thought would not be, he's going to go on a like 5-6 hour rampage around town, destroying buildings. I don't know. Maybe it just, you can't see for looking sometimes.
Well, Heath believes that somehow their vision was clouded, and some of the quotes later on I've got, he thought that basically God was letting him do this.
Yeah, God clouded their vision.
God clouded their vision. So he made armour plating covering the cab, the engine and parts of the tracks, and in places this was over 1 foot thick.
It's impressive, man.
Right?
Yep.
It consists of a concrete mix sandwiched between sheet steel to make an ad hoc composite armour. That is the composite armour, because you two won't know.
No. I was hoping you did explain.
Right? Is basically a mix of materials formed into armour.
I know what composite means.
I did look at what the sort of thickness of armour is on a modern day main battle tank.
Okay.
And it's all classified because it's composite armour. The makeup of it is highly classified. I mean, ours is the chobham.
Makes sense.
Ours is called chobham armour, and we've sold that to the Americans and probably sold it to a few NATO partners as well. It's very good stuff. It's but it's made of ceramics and metal. That's all anyone seems to know. It's highly classified.
Yeah.
So he's made composite armour. So he's obviously switched on enough to know that sheet steel ain't going to cut it.
So what's the difference between composite armour and normal armour?
Well, it's a
normal
mixture of
armour,
materials, isn't it?
Yeah. So you
So what's the difference between having a
small
foot
layers
thick of steel
because
or mixing it with concrete?
Because you can make that steel stronger by adding extra materials. So you're saving on weight and thickness, but you haven't got to use so much steel.
Yeah,
so
it might be lighter. That's
so it's
thing,
lighter,
just as strong.
but stronger.
Okay, makes sense.
So like I said, the chobham armour is rumoured to have ceramics in it.
But yeah, because this guy's
Tiles?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, this guy's not
a form of it.
He's not ex-military, is
Nope.
he? So he's a smart guy to have thought it through to that point and think, like, just 1 foot of steel
Isn't going to be enough.
isn't going to do it, and to layer it like that, concrete mix steel then concrete then steel, like fucking hell,
Yeah.
He's a visionary.
This made the Kill Dozer impervious to small arms fire and resistant to explosives. More than 200 rounds were fired at it with no effect, and later on, 3 external explosions.
Yeah. One of the plans I heard was to have Hellfire helicopters.
Yes, we'll get to that.
Yes.
For visibility, because obviously he is encased in this, there is no door, no window. He's made himself 3 gun ports, but he ain't looking out at them to drive this. He's got video cameras.
And my favourite part of it, of the spec, is yes, he installed the video cameras, but he also had the foresight to think, I'm going to be crushing things, they're going to get covered with dust, and then I won't be able to see. He fitted compressed air that he could control to clean off debris from the fucking cameras, man.
Yeah. And they were in turn protected by 3-inch shields of bulletproof plastic. So you couldn't even shoot the cameras out and make him blind. So he put some...
Wow.
He also had onboard fans and an air conditioner.
So it was going to be hot in there.
Yeah.
Did you have a Sega?
I bet he was controlling it with a Mega Drive joypad. He also fitted 3 gun ports for a 50 caliber rifle. That's a big fucking round.
Yeah.
A .308 rifle, which is kind of your Second World War caliber, and a 2.2 rifle, which is the kind that told Billy Ray was firing at those goblins.
The owls.
Is that the one well, we won't spoil
the space
this.
goblins.
Yeah, but I was going to say, is that the gun that Marv used at the end?
No.
Oh,
no.
Okay. Spoilers.
Marv had no plans to exit the vehicle, and authorities speculated he used a homemade crane to lower the armoured hull over the bulldozer and himself.
Yeah. He knew it was a one-way trip, man.
Yeah. He's not planning on getting out of this alive. So, on June 4th, 2004, Marv drove the Kill Dozer through the wall of his former business, the concrete plant, the town hall, the local newspaper, the former mayor's widow's house, and a hardware store. Previously owned by a man, Marvin had a previous disagreement with.
I'll just say back to the armour. The stuff he added increased the Komatsu bulldozer's mass from 53 tons to 85 tons. So that's 30 tons, isn't it?
That's heavier than a main battle tank. That's heavier than the Challenger 2 main battle tank.
And that's what I want you to picture, listener. If you haven't Googled it yet,
go and look at a picture of the Challenger 2
he built a
battle tank, and then go and look at this Kill Dozer and tell me which one you'd want to take into battle.
Would the normal tank be able to take out the Kill Dozer?
With its shells,
that's an interesting one, because that's a lot of armour. You're talking a foot thick. I mean, that's more than was on World War II battle tanks. They had like 3, 4, 5 inches.
Now, I'm no expert, but my tactic would be, if I had access to the tank, would be, I don't think, if I remember from the pictures, he didn't reinforce the actual, I think it's called the cup. No, it's not called the cup.
The blade.
The bit on the front that you use to dig things with.
Yeah.
The shield. You know what I mean.
The shovel?
The shovel bit on the front.
Yeah.
I'm not a mechanic, guys, or a builder. He didn't reinforce that, did he?
No. But you don't need to. That's made of pretty solid steel anyway, isn't it?
But would a tank shell blow that?
That would stand up to a Sabo round going
so you destroyed that, and then you've got access to maybe vital engine parts.
No, because he'd armoured the engine as well.
It went all the way down.
Yeah.
Wow. You'd have to put something underneath.
You'd have to go underneath. You'd have to run up underneath it. Hope he's not going to see you, because he's got them gun ports and the cameras.
Shit.
Lob a sticky bomb or something. The old Saving Private Ryan sticky bomb, maybe, or some kind of mine underneath it, and hope that you're going to take it out. Or plant some kind of IED underneath it.
Yeah.
Hope he runs over it.
And in the end, it was just his own.
Because you've got to go for a mobility kill in this scenario. You've got to take out the tracks.
People tried, didn't they?
They did.
There's video footage of one person trying.
But the police were just, and a SWAT team they called out, couldn't do anything against it. They've got, at best, the SWAT team have got M16 rifles, 5.56 caliber. That ain't doing nothing.
Yeah.
Get like it's a foot of fucking armour plating. The police have probably got 9mm pistols. That's not doing anything. That's doing even less.
He ran over several police cars, didn't he? And civilian cars. But on back to what you've just said about the police and the 9mm, there are bullet holes in buildings and things in the well, it's a village really. It's not much of a city, is it? And people speculate that he didn't fire a shot from his tank.
No, apparently.
Those were ricochets from police bullets just pinging off this fucking thing. And you can't really blame the police, can you? I mean, you're going to point at it and shoot it, aren't you? What else are you going to fucking do?
Throw your gun at it, you might as well.
Tink!
It's exactly the same fucking effect.
That is not a normal day at the office.
Imagine imagine if that was a Monday morning.
A sleepy, small town place.
You turn up for work as a sheriff and you're a little bit hungover. Yeah. You've been out watching the football the night before. Yeah. And you turn up and get this fucking report. And you sat at your desk and I hope it's a fucking quiet day today. Writing out some paperwork. You better get down into the sound man. There's a fucking guy with an armoured fucking Kill Dozer. He's got a fucking tank. And you're like,
homemade tank. What?
What? Oh, fuck.
Shit.
And you're there with your little 9mm pistol, goes poo, poo, poo. You might as well be fucking spitting at it.
And you say in a Roger Murtaugh's voice, I'm too old for this shit.
Yeah, I'm 3 days away from retirement.
Actually, isn't it the start of Lethal Weapon 4 where there's a guy with flamethrowers on a rampage downtown?
Is there?
It is, yeah, it's the start of the fourth. There is essentially a guy in a homemade armour suit, you know, doing, and exactly what we've just described basically happens. They're the ones who turn up on the scene and are just like, oh, what the fuck? Why?
As you said, we alluded to, he said, apparently it seemed, defenders of him said, oh, but he didn't go out of his way to hurt anybody. You know, he did, however, fire 15 rounds at power transformers and propane tanks, which, if ruptured, would have produced a huge explosion of up to about 800 yards, apparently. And the police chief was like, well, yeah, but I had like 80 guys near that. So he was obviously trying to do something. Apparently, he also fired at 2 police officers before they fired at him.
Right, yes, I'm just reading that now myself. So they claim he did fire on 2 officers.
And he fired at many bullets at Cody Doshev, who owned the concrete factory.
Yeah.
Who in turn tried to stop the dozer by blocking its path with what's called a wheel tractor scraper.
He's a bit of a hero, this bloke.
Yeah.
I think he's just trying to defend his business, his livelihood. He rammed the Kill Dozer so hard in his fairly heavy digger machine. You know, he runs a concrete plant, so he rammed him so hard, and he was encouraged to do this by the police. Like,
you got the heavy.
they told him where to hit him.
It.
Yeah,
you go and do it, baby. We can't do it.
Yeah, they told him where to aim for. I don't think they knew he was armed. They killed Marvin at this point, so he rams him so hard that he knocks himself unconscious in the cab of his machine. And then Marv from the Kill Dozer just starts firing on him.
Yeah.
And he's lying there motionless, and it's only fucking luck. You know, he wasn't riddled with fucking bullets. Like, just the way he fell, he was protected.
You don't need one with that 50 cal rifle. I mean,
Christ. Yeah, I didn't think of that.
That's your head gone.
That's like, they're the ones that will blow you, like in Rambo. John
Rambo. You know when John Rambo's on that machine gun, that's a 50 cal, and you see the holes appearing, exploding, heads just exploding, and arms being ripped off.
Yeah.
They use even sniper rifles, the Barrett 50 cal from Call of Duty, you probably heard of.
So it's a miracle this guy woke up.
A terrible fucking shot.
With no holes in him. You know, but I like that guy. Tried to save his business, you know, he rammed it so hard, he knocked himself out, you know.
That in itself is impressive, you know. I've never driven into anything so fast I've knocked myself out.
On purpose.
Especially not a fucking 53 ton kill.
85
ton Kill Dozer, armour plated Kill Dozer. And I know that my thing's not that heavy as that.
What do you think you see that coming up the fucking hill? Holy fuck! It's trashing everything in its wake.
Did you listen to the podcast I sent you called The Machine?
No,
it's by a brilliant podcast called Love and Radio. Or it might have been called Modern Love. Oh, I'm sorry if I've got that wrong. Anyway, the podcast is called The Machine, and they interviewed a guy who owns a local bakery. And it's a brilliant story because he's got their very good southern accent. And he basically tells a story. Somebody runs in and tells him, evacuate the building, you know, he's got kids in there and all sorts. Marv's gone crazy, he's built a tank. He's like, what the fuck? Grabs his gun, because every baker in America's got a gun.
Of course.
Yeah. He says, I ran down to the street, so I felt a rumble, you know, and he was all positioned, ready, like, to protect his business. Felt the rumble in the street. Oh no, that was it. He parked his car in the street, like T-boned the street, he said. Parked his car like that. And sort of hid behind it with his gun ready to go. Then he saw the Kill Dozer, legged it, left his gun there. He said, I put my fucking gun down and legged it. But Marv, because he didn't have beef with this baker man, drove around his car.
Oh wow, so there's a bit of rational thought still going on. He's only after the people who've pissed him off.
Yes.
And the police who were backing them up, I suppose.
Yeah. It was a very targeted... We should make that, because we'll go through the buildings he destroyed. It was very targeted. It wasn't like a GTA Rampage on the PlayStation where just randomly any building you see. He knew where he was going, and he had a list. And he did.
But weirdly, considering he was saying that God wanted him to do this, he had the local Catholic church on his list, but he didn't go and attack that.
Yeah.
But maybe he
ran out of time. Maybe he would have if he could have.
2 hours, he damaged 2 hours 7 minutes, and he damaged 13 buildings.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Was it $7 million worth of damage?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
In 2004, so...
Yeah, and no one but old Marv was hurt.
That's a miracle.
They did try and drop a flashbang down the exhaust, but that had no effect. A flashbang is a stun grenade.
Right.
It really does emit heat, so they were probably hoping it would cause a backfire or something. Didn't work. And they also tried shooting at the cameras, but they've got that 3-inch bulletproof plastic shield around them.
We weren't getting through that.
At one point, this guy's pretty cool. An under-sheriff called Glenn Trainer rode the bulldozer like a bronco, trying to get inside, because they didn't know they couldn't get inside.
Well, you'd assume there was a hatch, wouldn't you, or a door.
He said something like, I was trying to find out where to put the bullet to kill the dragon. Is what he said. He's like, I like that.
I like that.
But he was trying to get inside, but he was forced back down by the risk of debris because he was heading towards a building at the time, so he had to jump off.
A wise choice, I would say.
They actually ended up just walking alongside it. You know, I suppose if you're close enough to it, he's got no vision for the gun ports, has he? Because you've only got like a little slit. You haven't got massive vision. So I think they're just trying to escort it. Really, I don't know. What you do?
Yeah, they must have been thinking, Jesus, what do we? Because are we getting ahead to say that the mayor, was it the mayor?
I'm just going to get to that in one second.
Yeah, no worries.
At this point, the police are running out of options, not having the firepower needed to stop the Kill Dozer. Then Governor Bill Owens considered mobilising the National Guard for either A, a Hellfire missile strike from an Apache helicopter, a tank killer, and the Hellfire missiles are pretty good. They're called Hellfire missiles.
Yeah.
They're pretty fucking bangy.
They're used for warfare.
Yeah. Well, they're tank killers. The Apache
Yeah.
helicopter is a tank killer.
Awesome.
Whether or not you need a couple to take that thing out, I don't know.
Well, back to the models we touched on earlier. One of my favourite things I ever built as a child was an Apache helicopter. I was a bit obsessed with them. Remember the Sega games, Jungle Strike and Desert Strike?
Yeah.
And the film Wings of the Apache. Have you ever seen?
Oh, no, I don't think I ever have.
Yeah.
No, I was a bit obsessed with the Apaches. It just looked like the most awesome killing machine, you know.
It still is.
Oh, is it still the top?
Yeah,
bollocks?
still. I mean, weirdly, you know that the pilots have to train themselves to be cross-eyed to fly.
Yes, I've heard this because they have to focus one eye on one thing. Oops,
Yeah.
sorry, microphone, and the other eye on another thing.
Yeah,
with a different two sets of information.
Yeah, they've got a heads-up display over one eye, which
Yeah.
displays targets and stuff like that, and information. And then he's actually looking at the other eye. He's keeping an eye on the instruments and where he's going.
So they're all boss-eyed.
Yes, but
Actually, Prince Harry was an Apache pilot as well.
Was he? Oh,
flew
nice.
Apaches in Afghanistan.
oh, good on him, lizard bastard.
Yeah, and reptiles, it's easy
Yeah,
to move
exactly.
them.
Oh yeah, he can pretty move.
Snake eyes like
He
action
doesn't
man.
have to because he's got eyes on the side of his fucking head. Hasn't he? He's fucking red.
Reptiles make excellent Apache.
We need more reptilian Apache pilots. That's
No,
what
we
we
don't
need.
need that. God kill us all. They're enslaving us as it is.
But the Apaches are really cool because they're an over-the-horizon weapon. So you literally sit behind some trees miles away. It's got the longbow radar system.
Right.
You just pop up from behind some trees, lock on, fire the fucking ton of missiles at it, and then just pop back down. They don't even know you've been there.
It just reminds me of Apocalypse Now, doesn't it?
No, because those are Hueys.
Oh, were they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not the same.
They look like
chopper,
Apache.
No, the ones you're thinking of are Cobras.
Alright.
They're the
See,
but
Vietnam.
Vietnam.
They're helicopters anyway, guys. I always thought they were Apaches.
No.
Ah, speaking of helicopters, they're showing Airwolf on one of the channels.
Oh yeah.
5-star.
Wasn't that an Apache?
No, it was. See, I didn't realise this as a child because I
It
went
must
down.
have been a Cobra then.
Well, I went down an Airwolf rabbit hole.
Yeah.
The whole idea of the Airwolf is it's a civilian helicopter
Yeah.
to the naked. Because if you think about it, it's all sleek and smooth, but the lasers and things come out of it, don't they?
That's true.
Airwolf, sheep in wolves' clothing, and it's just a normal model of aeroplane, just painted beautifully and sexily with that, like a killer whale. But yeah, so anyway, they're repeating it on one of the low-down channels, 5-star, and I thought, oh, this will be fine to watch with my girlfriend's children, the eldest being 6. Airwolf's not suitable for children, mate.
Is it not?
Well, the first scene she sees, I'm like, oh yeah, come and watch this, you'll like this, it's about an awesome helicopter. First scene she sees, the fucking torture scene with like a half-naked man strapped to a bench and they're screaming in agony as they're doing stuff to him, and I'm like, yeah, let's put the CBBS back on for you. Oh god, I hope she doesn't have nightmares tonight. But the theme tune's ace.
They're gonna watch Shaft in Africa. That's the first scene, is just two naked men fighting in a pit.
Shaft.
Presumably one of them Shaft.
Presumably
In
one is, I
Africa.
can't remember.
Shaft. Oh man.
This bit, oh.
So Airwolf, still awesome, but not suitable for children.
I'll bear that in mind.
Yeah, there you go.
Um,
And sorry, last thing I'll say on the Airwolf, I did also Google, so I was curious, had anyone in their stoneness thought of this? I Googled Airwolf Transformer,
all
and
right.
some beautiful bastard out there has literally drawn a beautiful drawing of what Airwolf would look like in his robot mode, and yeah.
I bet you love that, didn't
Oh,
you?
fuck me. Popped a nerd boner like I've never had before. My girlfriend was eyeing it up with envy, like, it never gets that hard for me. That's a joke, I don't have those kinds of problems.
Enough about your marital issues, guys.
It's either me or Airwolf, Gaz. Gaz! Oh, sorry, what were you saying?
She's humming it.
I'm gonna fire my missiles right into
Incoming missile. Firing for effect. He also considered
Sorry, listener.
calling in a 2-man javelin missile team, which are an anti-tank missile.
Wow. But the issue wasn't it? You don't really want to be firing military-grade missiles on your little sleepy little southern town.
They realised that it'd probably cause more damage than the dozer would. Because at some point he's got to run out of fuel, hasn't he?
Yeah. Let's just wait this one out rather than send the death missiles. We're going to need people to stand back just a little bit.
They're going to say there's death missiles for brown people.
Well, that's it. He wasn't brown. I bet you if he was brown, the fucking Apache helicopter would have been out, and
that is going to be my point when we wrap up at the end of why this guy is seen as an absolute folk hero. The comments I was reading and the videos I found today were all along the lines of valiant hero, last freedom fighter, last true American. You know, this guy really is seen as a folk hero, and on the anniversary of it, it's known as Kill Dozer Day, and some people celebrate it.
Do they build Kill Dozers?
I hope not.
Oh man,
I think they're misguided though, but we'll get to that at the end.
Oh,
personally.
Yeah. So as he drove into, he's like our Roll Moat then, isn't he? That was disappointing. Do you remember that when that fucking?
I remember when Gaz got his fishing gear out.
Yeah, well, they should have just let. Frankie Boyle was saying this the other night. They should have let Gaza through.
But it's like, he was like, oh yeah, did he kill 2 policemen or injure them?
He shot one in the face, didn't he?
Yeah,
mixing up. He blinded him.
Definitely blinded one of them. I think he threw a grenade at him. But then he went into hiding, and the police was a massive manhunt for him. And for some reason, he became this folk hero. He was a mate of Gaz's, a former professional footballer, who left him a pack of 4 beers and a fishing rod.
We should state for anyone not familiar with Paul Gascoigne. Used to be an incredibly talented footballer, is now just a raging alcoholic fuck-up and has been for a very long time. No disrespect, guys.
It's very sad.
I don't know if he's still an alcoholic, but he's definitely had his issues with booze, let's say.
And mental illness.
And mental illness. Yeah. Do you remember when they found him in a hotel walking around naked with an inflatable parrot on his shoulder?
Yeah.
Bless him. But he was, we should emphasize, he was really fucking good at football.
He was like the English Pele.
Yeah, he was amazing.
Superb. He was a
that goal against Scotland will live forever.
Yeah,
like,
when he lobbed it over Sir Colin Hendry, Blackburn captain at the time. Sir Colin Hendry. Sir Colin Hendry.
Have you added the Sir?
Maybe. Either way, he was Blackburn Rovers captain,
right?
And he was a very good defender, regardless of the fact he was Scottish.
Yeah.
And he was getting on a bit then.
Yeah, he was only 30, 31, 32. Yeah, he wasn't that old.
But still loving it over his head, then
and then just
it.
cheekily running around him and slightly past the. I believe it was Andy Gorham who was a schizophrenic, and the chant used to be, "There's only 2 Andy Gorhams."
Well, no, he didn't. He did slightly. He lobbed it over, and he got round quick enough to fucking volley it, didn't he? Remember? He literally chipped it over his head and fucking volleyed it.
It was beautiful.
Fucking amazing.
Yeah, it was good.
But
Euro 96.
Euro 96.
Oh, them were the days.
Yeah.
It's coming up.
You do realise that the next episode we record will be out the World Cup.
It'll be funny though. We can look back at how happy we were.
Got knocked out by Senegal.
Oh man, I'm fucking fueling up the hype train. I don't care. I'm going to enjoy this for every second we've got left of it. We're through to the last 16.
Yeah,
Come on, we've got like a week or so of like pure joy if we want it.
I'm on nights next week, so I'm going to miss the Belgian game. So someone's going to keep me posted.
Do you have the radio on at work?
We do. We'll get the updates at work, and they'll probably be on it. If it's on late, I know it won't be on late enough. I'll miss it.
Put it on in the canteen.
It's
that match don't count really.
Yeah, it's
a dead rubber, isn't it?
A dead rubber.
Yeah.
That's what I was looking for. Dead rubber.
Anyway, back to Marv.
That's how me when I've had too many drinks. I can't get it up. Sorry. I've made a lot of jokes about not getting it up, but I can. I don't. Moving on. There's pills for that kind of thing. I'm 35. I'm in my prime.
Available on prescription. Prescription now.
I bet there's going to be a lot of Englishmen with erectile dysfunction based on their diet and their alcohol intake and depression and stress for being working class and not having much money working in the factory. But during this World Cup, their erection problems will completely fucking disappear. There you go.
And then we lose and they beat their wives.
Yes, but
apparently domestic abuse apparently does go up when you
that
lose.
Is a fact.
That's sad.
That's one of the most tragic statistics of facts I've ever heard. Ah, well.
Oh, dear.
But we're all on a high at the moment.
Hey.
I was enjoying, before I came here, boys, watching reactions on YouTube of pubs and places where there's the big screens and stuff of England fans reacting to the goals. It's joyous, man. It makes you cheer along. It's awesome watching like 1,000 people in a large beer garden. They're all chattering away, and then fucking goal goes in. It's like They explode in it's like you just injected ecstasy into their heart, and then it's fucking ace.
Yeah, I sometimes think if people cared more about politics and football, we wouldn't be in this shit.
Ah well.
Maybe we need David Beckham to run for Prime Minister.
You know, they're happy to sit there and just accept their enslavement, but when England win a football game, they go crazy. Do you know what I mean? It's like
the opium of the masses. It keeps us docile. But anyway, let's fucking enjoy it while it lasts. Load up that hype train.
Ignore the slavery for a few weeks. England.
It's coming home, boys. So back to the Marvin, the Kill Dozer maniac.
As he drove into Gamble's hardware store, it was apparent that the radiator was damaged and leaking fluid. And there's a bit. I've watched the video, and there's a lot of water on the floor.
Fuck me, yeah, it's like a flood, isn't it?
Yeah.
It had a very big radiator.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't expand it to keep.
He'd have to take the
he
weight,
added.
wouldn't he?
Oh, we didn't mention he did add cooling systems. He knew that engine would be working overtime with the extra weight, and he added cooling systems himself that would keep it from overheating.
I was actually impressed that it had a bit of a turn of speed on it for an 83-ton armoured bulldozer.
Yeah.
It wasn't a slow thing. It had some speed. I mean, we're not talking rapid, but for an 83-ton fucking killdozer, it was pretty rapid.
Did we mention that as well? That he also protected the treads of the tracks.
Some of the track.
Yeah. So because he thought obviously that's another weak point that you could maybe attack.
Yeah.
He thought of it all, man.
He probably put. I'd imagine he had skirts down over the tracks to cover the main vulnerable points. So, Gamble's hardware store. And at this point, this killdozer is a bit on its arse, the radiator's gone. It has a small basement. And sadly, because of the weight, one of the tracks broke through into this and just completely immobilised it.
yeah.
So he couldn't get out. The engine's dying. He's trapped. He's at the end game here. The bulldozer's engine failed and the SWAT members swarmed it. Don't know what they're going to achieve, but they swarmed it. A shot rang out from inside the dozer, and it was later determined that Marv had shot himself in the head with a .357 handgun, which again is a big fucking round for a pistol. He's packing some serious fucking ordnance in this thing.
Yeah, he wasn't fucking around.
No. Police used explosives to try and remove the armour. That's the 3 external explosions. Had no effect whatsoever.
No.
In the end, they had to cut through it with an oxyacetylene cutting torch. And his body was finally removed at 2 a.m. in the morning on the 5th of June.
Wow.
The dozer was scrapped and sent to various scrapyards to prevent souvenir taking. And
I found that interesting. They split it up into bits to not turn it into a monument, I guess. Like, just get rid of the fucking thing.
Yeah.
And maybe they didn't want other people getting ideas.
Well, that's you don't want someone copying the design and improving on it, do you?
Now imagine the rising of the proletariat.
And we've all got killdozers.
We've all got killdozers.
Oh.
Well, then the Hellfires will come out, won't they?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
There'll be a lot of killdozers.
There's probably tactical nukes.
His button's bigger than ours, Mike.
That's a good point. You
Yeah,
can never
I mean-
defeat the establishment.
Not when they're that big.
By violence.
Worked in Cuba, worked in Syria.
Yeah, but they don't have
Worked in
armies like
Libya.
America.
Yeah,
in
but then,
Egypt.
but
They don't
then-
have kill drones.
But then who, you know, more often than not, someone more terrible comes after.
Yeah, but it'll be like
Because they come through the violence and that's
I
their-
saw this. Sorry, Mike. I saw this thing on TV the other night. A weapon that's like like you fire a mortar. I'm right, like a little
tube
thing. Choom. It's a mortar that you fire up, but it goes up in the air, transforms into a drone.
Oh, I've seen that.
Then pinpoints its target and flies itself into the target and explodes.
Yeah.
So we're not going to beat the government. We're not Cuba.
No, that drone's not like big though. I mean, I don't think it'd take out a killdozer.
But it'd take you out. It could spy you through the window and just come in through the window and hit you in the face.
Yeah, but for my killdozer, I'm all right, aren't I?
But they've got bigger things than that. I'm just saying. I'm agreeing with Mike's
CIA
point that
wasp, just get in through a crack. Inject a fucking
in through the gun
cyanide
port,
in there.
through the gun port, CIA wasp. Yeah.
I take your point that it's happened in countries, but my point is their government armies weren't as fucking mind-bogglingly well equipped as the American or our government.
You've still got to get those guys in the army though to shoot on civilians, haven't you? Who are when they go home, they're a civilian. Their family, they don't know if their families are with them. You're always going to have that issue of are they going to fire on civilians?
Yeah.
If they're ordered to, probably.
Well, But
Well,
that's
they do, don't they? That's the problem.
Yeah.
But then they hire people that will do that.
Yeah, private.
Oh, they hire the private companies.
Well,
What was
yeah.
that one? Blackwater?
Yeah.
The Iraq,
Yeah, yeah.
who-
Even the
That
police
needs to
officers,
be a fucking
Who
episode.
becomes a police officer, especially in America?
Usually a white supremacist, isn't it?
Usually someone who wants to be violent towards somebody.
Well, yeah, there's a percentage of them, I would
Yeah,
say, but
a heavy percentage.
yeah, there's also got to be.
You don't
know,
get many peaceniks in the fucking.
Well, I bet people
police force,
do sign up for
To do good. There was,
decent
yeah.
with decent intentions, but I guess it's easy with the
They just
stress
shoot
of the
black
job.
people and mentally ill people.
No,
That's
yeah,
what's
but
going
that's
on,
not
isn't it?
all of them. It's a lot of them.
You know, why don't, for every call out, somebody who's clearly mentally ill, send a police officer and a social worker?
because there's that many social workers.
Well, that's it, isn't it? It's not priority, is it?
That's it.
They don't care if they die.
It's just another one off the list, isn't it? There you go.
Well, Marv's dead.
Marv's dead at this point.
It is Kill Dozer.
But they did find a number of recordings and notes found at his home, as well as a list of targets. Shall I go through a few little quotes and then we can hear what he said? Because he became his. This is where I think he's like. At one point, I'm thinking to myself, yeah, he's got a bit of a grudge, and he's decided he's gonna end his life this way, showing him what for.
Sticking it to the man.
But then he kind of had this weird sort of religious thing going with it. God built me for this job. It was God's plan that he would not be married or have a family, so that he would be in such a position to carry out an attack like this. I think God will bless me to get the machine done, to drive, to do the stuff I have to do. And a lot of God blessing him in this. God bless me in advance for the task I'm about to undertake.
It's the way he justifies it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God has asked me to do this. It's a cross that I'm going to carry in God's name. But like I say, he targeted the Catholic Church, but didn't bother to attack it. Probably because he didn't get round to it.
Well, before we have the video, can I read you a couple of pages of paragraphs of an article?
Yes.
You can.
Can we have a piss break after that?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I'll try and do it quick. This is from Snopes.
No, don't rush. Just
Snopes.com, written by Dan Evon. It's a pretty good article.
does that mean that if I was to look at Devon,
The wrestler?
yeah,
Maybe it's
get
him.
the tables.
Yeah. Thanks,
I don't
Ben.
get that.
That's a wrestling
Yeah.
reference.
Thought it might be.
So, did all the victims deserve their punishment? This article is essentially about how he is seen as a folk hero, but is that an incorrect way to look at him? Or is it the only way to look at him? So, did all the victims deserve their punishment? Another argument for Marvin's folk hero status is that he only targeted those who had wronged him. And it's true that a few names on the list were obvious adversaries, such as the town hall, which was responsible for rezoning the land surrounding his property. However, some of Marvin's other victims are harder to justify. He destroyed a library, which was connected to the town hall, and the
book depository.
Well, the former home of Mayor L.R. Dick Thompson. Thompson served as mayor when Heemeyer's fight with the city began, but passed away in 2001, 3 years before the Rampage. Thompson's 82-year-old widow, Thelma Thompson, was living in the home when it was destroyed.
There's no need for that.
Exactly. Marvin also destroyed patrol cars, service trucks, and at least one pickup truck. In total, he did about $7 million worth of damage. Casey Farrell, the owner of a hardware store that was destroyed by Marvin, said that it took him more than 7 years to rebuild, and that Marvin's rampage took more than a financial toll on the town. First, he rammed the home of the mayor and the town hall and library. Then he sat out more randomly to avenge the wrongs he had perceived. In the case of the local newspaper, the Sky High News, the editor, who had always run his letters of complaint, ran out of the back door as Marvin's bulldozer crashed through the front. Nobody died except Marvin, who put a gun to his own head after his lumbering killdozer fell into the basement of the Gamble's store. Others could have easily have died though. The Gamble store has been rebuilt, but it took 7 years for Casey Farrell, the owner, to do so. My world just turned upside down, he told Sky High on the 10th anniversary. But I thought, well, okay, we got insurance. We did, just not enough insurance. Gamble's had been a hardware store with 5 employees. Now it's an appliance and mattress store with 2 employees. But beyond the physical changes, there's a mental change in the minds of Farrell and others. It's not that I don't feel safe, but it's changed the way that you look at people, at stuff, he said. I don't know how to put it into words, really. And there's just one more little section. Another version of Marvin's story. One could argue that Marvin was treated unfairly by the government, that he was run out of business by a larger company, and what he did on Kill Dozer Day was simply what every other little guy dreamed of doing after getting pushed down by the big man. In this view, Marvin is a hero. But there's another way of looking at the events of June 4th, 2004. Marvin built a tank and destroyed 13 buildings, including a library which was occupied by children moments before the walls came down, and the home of an 82-year-old widow, simply because he lost a zoning dispute. He endangered the lives of the police officers, destroyed several emergency vehicles, and could have killed several innocent civilians if it wasn't for the actions of law enforcement who managed to evacuate buildings before they were destroyed. He was armed with several weapons, attempted to shoot at least one civilian, and fired several shots at propane tanks in an attempt to create an explosion. Heemeyer spent more than a year building his Kill Dozer and planning his attack on the town of Granbury, an act he felt was in accordance with God's will. The town of Granby still hasn't fully recovered from Marvin's vengeful and dangerous attack. Patrick Brower, an editor who worked at the newsroom destroyed by Marvin, argued that he could not be held up as a hero, folk or otherwise. I've seen that the way people have venerated Marv and praised him after the fact, without even really knowing what happened or the facts of the situation, has been repeated in many other rampages and tragedies in America since then, he says. How many people lose petty zoning fights with the government in America? Everybody, all the time. That's not an excuse to go out and tear the town to pieces and shoot people. The story of Marvin Heemeyer and his Kill Dozer is absolutely true. It's up to you, however, to decide if he should be hailed as a hero.
It's very much like Timothy McVeigh and the Oklahoma City bombing. He thought that he'd been brainwashed by various pro-gun groups. The government will come and take our guns. We need to fight back against them.
Yeah.
And he ended up blowing up the Oklahoma City building and killing children as well as just civil servants who've gone in there to do a day's work.
Over petty.
But to some people, he is also a hero because he was striking back against the evil, overpowering government.
But the reality is, it's really real people that you've fucked over, not the government. I mean, the government can rebuild. That guy with his hardware store, the hardware store isn't there anymore. 5 people are unemployed. You don't know what's happened to their lives since. In a town that small, how easy is it just to go and find another job?
I think you can understand why he did it, perhaps. He was driven to it. But obviously the method... Any kind of violence you can't justify, can you?
Why not just take down the concrete plant?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Why then, like, the widow's home? I mean, come on, that guy died.
Yeah, he's dead.
And I think the important part of that article I read, that was the only reason people got out of there was the police being on the ball and evacuating buildings ahead of him, right? If they hadn't been there to do that, he would have still bulldozed them, wouldn't he?
And that's probably why they were walking alongside it to get a better idea. If
Where
he turns, just hang on, fucking get in there and tell him to get out.
I mean, I don't think he's a hero. I admire his ingenuity.
Oh my god, his engineering, apart from the radiator blowing, his engineering was top notch. I mean, he thought of everything. I wouldn't have thought of shielding the cameras in bulletproof plastic.
And air compressors to clean them.
Yeah.
We were mentioning in a message thread between us earlier before we recorded that the A-Team would be mightily impressed with his... Oh, fuck yeah. This is an episode, it took a year, but...
Mr. T would have had that up in an afternoon.
Yeah, got in there with that crazy fool.
He stuck it to the man, but he also destroyed a town and nearly, he didn't kill anyone, I realise, but his intentions probably were to, and it was all in the name of God, according to him. I don't think he's a hero.
I think he had, obviously underlying mental issues.
Definitely.
But the dispute with the city and the amount of God stuff he then came out with, I suspect he might have been a bit brainwashed by Fox News and that kind of shit. The Christian channels. This is God's plan for me. I'm going to carry the cross and all this.
Yeah.
That's some odd shit. That's how he was justifying it to himself. I kind of have a feeling there's that underlying brainwashing in American society.
Yeah. But he also has a point that the big man is against him.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
The big man's with him. The big man. I'm joking. The big man's God.
What about that Princeton study that proved the US is an oligarchy?
You have to define oligarchy for me.
Well, it's a small group of people that run the country.
Oh, so the rich guys basically run the country through Congress because they just pay the congressmen.
Yeah, they own it.
Very much
the
like
companies.
Actually, there was
don't pay any tax.
Yeah. Also, like that twat in our parliament this week who voted to turn down the upskirting photographing
Mr.
bill.
Chope.
That's him. Yeah, he's a bit of a twat. Here's a bill that's like, we're going to make taking photos of women's skirts without their consent like as bad as rape or sexual harassment. And he's like, nope. I don't like the way the bill's been presented. No, just fucking get over it, you prick. That's the Tories for you.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're inhuman,
They're fucking
non-feeling,
reptiles.
reptilian fucking ass.
He's a reptile.
Well, should we take a break and then we'll
Yeah.
listen to Mr. Meyer himself?
Yes, let's do
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
yeah.
We'll hear. That's very rare. You get to hear from the perpetrators he recorded an audio journal that's 3 hours long that you can find on YouTube. We're not going to play you the whole 3 hours.
No.
Just a little bit. So we'll be back.
Yes. And we are back. So, let's hear from Marvin himself.
Just going to dip in somewhere along his...
Insane rantings.
Yeah.
My own is just going to be a pittance compared to what I'm going to take. But hopefully the community will learn something from this and become wiser. Instead of hating their neighbor and keeping your neighbor down, they will love your neighbor. You know, there may not be a lot of love here, because you can look at it and say it's coming from me. I've developed malice towards these people. I couldn't live with myself the rest of my life if I didn't have a plan to make this right. I feel pretty worthless. And I know I probably shouldn't, but to know that for 10 years, the people in the town of Granby did not want me there. And the fact that I was making good money by the 99, within, 6 years after I started that business, that I was making a pretty good income, I'm sure it made them very jealous. I'm sure everything about me made them jealous. I'm sorry that they felt that way. That is a bad way to feel. I wasn't trying to keep up with the Joneses, I know. I say that, maybe that's not true. I was always trying to be the Joneses. Do it my way. Look at me. See what I do. This is what I've done. You all have the opportunity to do what I've done. I haven't done much. I graduated from high school to 28th of my class of 29. There's no big deal. I wasn't intelligent. I wasn't smart. I wasn't stupid. But I wasn't educated. I didn't have the knack to sit in the classroom and be a bookworm. I don't know why. I may have. I don't know why. But God built me maybe clear back in the 4th grade when I broke my arm. Because that's when my grades started falling off. I don't know. He had this plan clear back then. Maybe, if you believe in predestination, which I do, maybe it was planned before I was born. I don't know. I don't understand predestination that much, but I do believe in it. So here we are, and I am at peace with what I am about to do. I have to be. And although I've wrestled with it for years, and God gave me this last winter off again because He knew that I wasn't strong, and that was so unique that this didn't get done last year. How the sale of the business kind of interrupted my progress on my my Marv Komatsu. What did I call it? I got a name for it. Oh, my MK tank. That but I didn't get the old MK tank done last fall. Is amazing because it should have happened. But God has His timing, His plans made out, and they're to be. And it looks like it's going to be. Because the one thing that I have wanted to do is get caught. I had hoped that somebody would catch me and that this whole thing would stop. And that would be a good sign for me not to do it. I've hoped, I haven't played the lottery a lot, but I've hoped that I would win the lottery. And I could forget this whole thing. I could move on because then I would have my $300,000. And I would have my life back. And I could live the way I want to live. But, I had that money this cabin was bought and paid for free. I didn't have a rental payment. People will say that, why did he do that? He had such a good life. He had a better life than me anyway. Well, I can understand that to a point. It's not what I deserved. You meddled in my business and took what I deserved away. You took advantage of my good nature. Well, I think there's something you should learn here. For as good as a man can be, also can he be as bad. And another thing you should learn is that when you visit evil upon someone, be assured it will revisit you. And that is what is happening. It is a good thing. Because I think the community of Granby will be stronger. I think that they will understand after years, if they ever hear this tape, if they ever hear the truth, if they're ever willing to listen. That was one thing that the council would not do, ever. They were not, because they knew that they were going to have this concrete plant. Everything that I or the 50 or 80 people that were at those meetings initially, they would fall on deaf ears. Because I was the only one, the one person I should say, that was going to be adversely affected so negatively by the impact of this concrete plant. I stood there and fought till the end. I spent the money. I let that attorney Dietza milk me. Because I was fearful, I was weak, understood. I spent the money. I fought the good fight. To come to realize that I had to do what I have to do now. It's a sad, sad way to do it. But it's a cross that I'm going to carry. And I'm carrying it in God's name, I believe. I truly believe this. I would have been caught. Something would have happened. I mean, there's still some time left. It still may not happen. It could be that the day it does start, the machine quits. Before I even get out of the building. It may quit right after I get out of the building.
Should we leave it there?
Yeah, so some of the quotes I highlighted earlier, this is the cross he's carrying for God, and
Yeah.
I just think he's trying to put a justification to it that he's a pissed off guy, and he's now trying to justify it to himself, like you said, Mike, that this is my plan, predetermination. This is what I was always going to do. I was always going to build a 85-ton Kill Dozer on a Rampage.
And
God planned that for me.
Because no one caught me or stopped me. It was meant to be.
Yeah. But looking at that, it's the Marvin Heemeyer tapes, tape 2 side A, we took that from. There's a picture of the Kill Dozer, sort of backdrop to the YouTube file, and my God, it looks impressive, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It looks like he's based that. I'm going to military nerd you guys out for a second. It looks like he's based that on the German self-propelled gun from the Second World War, the shape of the hull. Yeah, it looks like he's had some...
So he said he's a Nazi.
No, I'm just saying that he took a really good design, and because if one thing the Nazis could do was they built very good tanks, or the Germans built very good tanks. Yeah, so it does look a bit like the... And you can see where the armour thickness is on that if you look at the cab.
Yeah.
You see how much it bulges out. That's the most vulnerable part. I'm going to protect that.
Incredibly impressive.
You see he's got the skirt coming down over the tracks.
Yeah.
But and then the front part of them tracks is protected by that dozer blade, and that's going to not be punctured by what the police are firing at him. So
what I think is lovely about this week, well, not lovely, but good or unique about this week's episode is the fact that we have just listened to his innermost thoughts that he was recording into a tape. We rarely get to hear that, do we?
Yeah.
Of someone who's perpetrated something bad, and I think you can tell from those tapes. As cool as the fucking Kill Dozer itself is,
yeah,
it was delusional.
yes,
And this was, excuse me, like the article said from Snopes, this was over a fucking zoning dispute with the local government, you know? A lot of people would potentially, and the way he's talking there, people will learn from this, they'll remember this. It's like, I lose all sympathy for him, and I don't think he's the folk hero that people make him out to be.
I'm kind of torn.
In my opinion.
I'm kind of torn. I must admit.
I understand.
If people
the
had
folk
died,
hero
would you
thing.
feel differently?
No, like I said, I'm with him to the point of the violence.
Right. Yeah. Me too.
So
I
I'm like,
suppose.
you got shafted or whatever.
Mm.
Yeah. There's a reason for that. It's because the government is against you. He isn't paranoid.
Yeah.
That has been proved now since 1981. You know, the government has slowly become more in the hands of the corporations and the wealthy.
Yeah.
And all government does is what they wish.
And he was supposed to just shut up and take it, wasn't
Yeah.
he? But he didn't. And yes,
Well,
I admire that
so
part of it.
That bit, I kind of have sympathy for him.
And the bit where he says, I built that business up. They didn't like the fact I was making a good money because I'm an outsider from the town. And I imagine there's a bit of a small town mentality, like you say. It's a very small town, 1,500 people. He's moved there, sets up a successful shop. He's not trying to keep up with the Joneses. He's trying to be the Joneses. I can understand. He's trying to make a success.
Yeah.
And they took that away from him.
Yeah,
maybe
he's living the American dream and they stripped it from him.
Maybe he feels hard done by, well, because I'm not from round here, I wasn't born here, they took that away from me.
Yeah.
But that doesn't excuse the actions or the justifications. Although that fucking Kill Dozer is so cool. Go and look at a picture of it, listeners, because it's fucking awesome. I love it. I want one.
Yeah, it is pretty. Like I said,
I drive to work in it. I wouldn't go on a rampage.
When Hans takes over the power grid, Ben, we'll need something like that.
That's it. We'll need something primitive.
I'll be locked in there with what's her name? Hans's
Sophia.
sister Sophia. I won't be knocking things down in it. You lot trying to shoot in it from the outside.
I'm
I'll be in there making sweet love to my robot conquest.
I'm going to come in and rescue you.
I don't want to be rescued.
I'm going to literally, as you're at the point of climax, drive through the wall.
I'll be like, this is the shittest rescue ever. I don't want this.
You can't get in here, but
ruined
up on the top. I'll get you out of here.
Yeah. Any fucking drones flying about.
I'm building a hatch for Hans's killer drones to get into.
Fuck Hans, it'll be me and Sophia all the way. We'll ride off into the sunset very slowly in our Kill Dozer, our 85-ton Kill Dozer. You'll never catch us alive.
At least you got them gun portals to let the stank out.
Should I show
She's
him?
going to get very cubby.
Oh, man.
Sorry.
Sorry. You know you're going to clean her out, though, aren't you?
Oh, fuck.
You're going to have to... Oh!
No, I'm joking. I am, honestly, and I don't have erectile problems. Just for the record. What was you going to say, Mike? Sorry.
I was going to say, shall I share with you what the first thing I typed Kill Dozer into?
Oh, yeah, okay, I think I know it's going to be.
It's a 1974 classic.
Oh, wow.
Is this the
is
trailer?
The trailer for it. It is fantastic.
Oh, I haven't seen this.
We don't know anything for a fact. Clint Walker. Except that bulldozer kills. Carl Betts. 2 men dead. The survivors watch an unmanned bulldozer continue its rampage. Kill Dozer.
Well, how do you stop an unmanned killer dozer?
Yeah.
I'm assuming that dozer's been possessed by a demon.
Probably.
Possibly.
Or the
You
Invisible
don't know
Man.
much. You know it kills.
Yeah. Or the Invisible Man just lost a zoning dispute with his local government.
No, because he's seen with his bandages and the glasses and he's sat there,
He's took them off.
Oh, well, yeah, I suppose so, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's 1974.
Yeah.
God.
TV movie, fantastic.
Oh, it looks like a TV
they
movie
looked
too.
very haggard, those actors, didn't they? Like they've been actually working in construction for 30 years and in all weathers.
It was the 70s, everyone looked haggard.
Yeah,
I did watch a clip from it, it looks as bad as it portrayed on the fucking...
I kind of want to know how they stopped the Kill Dozer when they just blow it up.
Yeah, that's what I guess. TNT.
That wasn't actually, a Kill Dozer. It was just a bulldozer that was acting independently. It didn't have an armour-plated fucking cab on it.
Yeah. It wasn't politically motivated.
It was the politically motivated Kill Dozer. It just liked the taste of human flesh.
Oh, that's something we haven't touched on yet. Back to the real life Kill Dozer. Why isn't what he did considered domestic terrorism?
It should be.
Because these days, you drive a van up onto a pavement and run people over. That's a horrible thing to do, but that's considered terrorism.
Yeah.
I know it's perpetrated by people maybe with
You
different
didn't shout
motives.
Allah Akbar.
Exactly, it wasn't brown.
Alan Snack Bar.
Well, that's the point, isn't it? I'm sure if he was a man of ethnicity...
I will guarantee you, if he was... They identified him as the brown man that owned the muffler shop. That Apache helicopter would have been in there in a fucking second.
Probably. That's the sad truth of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
If he happened to wear some sort of religious type hat,
But he probably had a crucifix.
Oh yeah,
Then again, he commit. How can you actually? I think there's a bit of hypocrisy there, because he's saying that this is his mission from God, but suicide's a mortal sin. You're going to hell for that, regardless.
You're not saying a religious person contradicted themselves, are you, Ben?
Oh, I might be.
Wouldn't that unprove his entire theory?
Yeah.
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 Or he's burning in the fires of hell?
Oh yeah, he is, because he's committed suicide. That's...
Yeah. I saw that Robin Williams film.
Which one?
What's it called? What Dreams May Come? Where he goes to hell, or is it heaven? Heaven he goes to.
I don't know. You know what? I was never a fan of Robin
It's a good
Williams.
film,
Oh, it's not a funny one. It's a fucking
it's-
sad film.
Yeah.
I did quite enjoy the one where he was a serial killer. Was that 1 hour
Oh,
photo?
the
Insomnia.
photo one, yeah.
Was that
Oh.
Insomnia or 1 hour photo?
He did 2, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think it was 1 hour photo. You got the photos in it.
Yeah,
he was the
that's what
creepy
I-
old
Yeah,
dude.
I quite enjoyed that.
good.
That was he's like,
Insomnia was better though. with
Was it?
Pacino.
oh right, okay.
Yeah, and he's a serial killer. Williams is, and Pacino chasing him.
All right, that could be.
And he's
interesting.
an insomniac, and he's up in Alaska
Oh, I have seen
where
that. I
there's
think.
no
yeah.
darkness.
Ah.
Yeah, there's no
he's awake
night.
for like a whole week, and he has
Yeah.
to try and catch a killer.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I think I have
Brilliant
seen that actually, but yeah, yes.
To be honest though, neither of those are a patch on the
Patch
classic.
Adams.
No, the classic Mrs. Doubtfire.
Hey!
I thought you were going to say Bicentennial Man now, because that's one of the worst films I've ever
No.
fucking
That's,
seen in my life.
that's a film with a robot in that I don't fucking like, and that's saying something. Because all it needs normally is a robot, and I'm like, hey, I'm in.
It's really bad. I think I've only even made it to half of it.
Well-
It was bad.
So, are we, should
I'm
we...
actually never a fan of Robin Williams. I do apologise. I understand he's quite a popular actor, but
I
he's
like him.
never my cup of tea.
Well, so should we wrap up our final thoughts on Mr. Marvin? Unless we have any more... Have we got any more Marvin stuff?
No, just
No?
weird news next.
Right, so should we... What's our final thoughts on the Kill Dozer man?
Awesome idea
Yeah.
in the terms of engineering.
Uh-huh.
Great engineering idea. As a side project at home, I couldn't build something like that. I wouldn't have thought of fucking compressed air to blow the dust off the cameras. I know that much. I wouldn't have thought of that.
No.
You know, so that's great, and I admire his ingenuity. But you can't. Was that a phone we're going?
No,
Yeah,
it was
I
not.
think I just heard a
We'll
phone.
get a beer next week.
Yeah.
Alright then.
And not a fucking co-op cider, please. You're becoming. I'm sure you're trying to plug co-op cider.
No, I'm a parent now. Money's tight, you know. I have to buy the cheap stuff, I'm afraid.
There's
Plus,
cheap-
it's a week from fucking payday, so I'll be on the good stuff next week. I'll be feeling
Flush.
rich for about a week. And then desperate for another 3, but that's the cycle of life, Mike.
It
That's
is.
how they keep me on the treadmill
That's it,
of
mate.
insignificance
You're
and
learning,
misery. I'm gonna build a fucking Kill Dozer after we win the World Cup. Coming home, boys! Fire up the hype train! On aboard!
That's it now. The people who never liked football ever.
Exactly.
Fucking the,
We've lost him.
Oh yeah, but no, yeah.
I like rugby too.
We can like sports and conspiracies, people. I like wrestling, for fuck's sake. My favourite sport's a fake sport.
Sports entertainment.
Yes, it's both.
I suppose so.
Yeah.
Yeah. But sorry, where was I? Anyway, I
yeah,
admire his
sorry.
engineering abilities.
Yeah.
Like you said, like he had planning commission turned down. That's not an excuse to go and tear up a town in your 83-ton armoured bulldozer.
no.
As cool as that is, and let's not be about the bush. We've all thought about it.
Oh, I've had
Everybody
Rampage
has thought
fantasy.
about having that Rampage fantasy.
Of course.
We've all done it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He just put his into practice. But in my Rampage fantasy, I come out of it alive.
Yeah.
I might be taken by the police, but I'm certainly not shooting myself in the face. So, yeah, and I think I do think that the whole God wants me to do it is just he's trying to justify. I think he's got deep-seated mental issues, and I think that's the way he's trying to justify it to himself. There you go. That's my take on it. Great engineering.
I'm guessing most of the mental issues were caused by the problem.
Yeah.
I think they were
Okay.
exacerbated by the
Yeah.
fact he felt he was being discriminated against.
I pretty much agree with every word you said there. That's basically my theory on it too. I don't think should be seen as a folk hero.
Oh,
Because
no.
I think his intention was to kill people. I think it's a miracle nobody did die. I agree with the police officers who say it's more luck than anything else that nobody was killed. So yeah, I don't think he's a folk hero, but I do think he's a fucking hell of an engineer, and it's a goddamn shame he never joined up with the A-team.
Yeah.
Because
Like
the A-team, they never killed anybody either, but they destroyed a lot of shit. So them and Marvin, like you said, yeah. BA, meet Marvin.
He's going to be your new co-engineer. Who's this crazy fool?
I never seen no wills like that, crazy fool. Trust me, BA. So yeah, Mike, what?
Yeah, I've already said really. Yeah.
So yeah, that's the Kill Dozer story, man.
Kill Dozer story. It's interesting.
And apparently
It's
there's
fun.
a major documentary coming out soon called Treads. Because there isn't a
Oh
documentary.
god, I thought you said Threads then.
No, Treads. Sorry,
Can't be doing that again.
flashbacks. Yeah, because I thought, somewhat shockingly, I couldn't find a single fucking documentary online about it. There was news footage, but I thought, why is there not a doc? But yeah, there is. Apparently, it's coming out soon. Treads. So keep your eyes peeled for that, people.
What I'm more relieved about this week is that I didn't fall down a 5-hour rabbit hole looking at nuclear explosions.
This is what happened to us last week.
It's happened to me. I heard back from the council.
Oh, I thought you were on about the actual recording, but yeah, we. Sorry, yeah.
I heard I was saying, I was on the last one. I said that I went down that far down the rabbit hole. I emailed my local authorities to say, what are you going to do in the event of a nuclear war then? And it turns out the reply I was sent was that they are fully in accordance with the 2004 Civil Act in these scenarios, and that nuclear shelters are not provided for civilians in our area.
What a shock that is.
Yeah.
So essentially, build your own or you're fucked.
Yeah.
And when it says we're in accordance with whatever it was, does that just basically mean, yeah, we have contingency plans to evacuate the leaders?
Yeah, the emergency powers,
Yeah.
things like that we touched on in Threads. It probably hasn't changed that. You know, there's a martial law, curfews, government controlling the food rations. Someone's in charge of that, life or death powers. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I did read through that act earlier, and it's exactly pretty much what we saw in Threads. In all fairness, they've just updated it a little bit. Put terrorism in there.
I, for one, want to congratulate you on doing some actual... You put in a Freedom of Information Act. I've always thought about that, but never thought I could actually do it. So, fair play. And you got a fucking answer?
Yeah.
It's not a good answer, but...
It's not a comforting answer.
No.
One we expected.
Should we think of some more Freedom of Information things
I'm
we
thinking
can ask?
that there's that...
It could be a feature on the show,
well,
then.
there was that famous UFO sighting at RAF Cosford, which is up the road from us.
Yeah.
And I wonder if the council's got anything on that, freedom of information wise.
Send it, let's see.
So I might, I'll put in something for that.
Would they have jurisdiction over a military base?
Actually, it's already outside their jurisdiction.
Can't you request
territorially as well?
Can't you send Freedom of Information requests to the military?
I could send it to the MOD, whether anyone would answer it or not, because Nick Pope was the last guy to work the UFO desk. I've always fancied that job.
Well, you never know.
I might attach,
Dream big.
What I might do is send them. What about that UFO sighting? Because it was a black triangle, which you'll notice Randy Lerner mentions that they're ours rather than theirs. You know, I might put in for that and say, and if you haven't got a UFO desk guy, consider me. I would a podcast and everything. Well, I do a podcast and everything.
I think that could be a very fun regular feature on the show, because there's no number on the amount of Freedom of Information requests you could send, is there?
No, and they have to answer me.
Well, there you go. We could have one a week. Fire away, Ben.
Yeah. Well, I'll have a look at the. I'll see if there's an MOD thing I can look at and ask them about that.
Just don't forget, you are a broadcast journalist.
Allegedly so.
Yeah, we're not professional ones, but we are ones.
It's on my CV.
Insert your own adjective here.
So, yeah, that's Kill Dozer. Let's do some weird news.
Yeah.
Weird news.
Adolf Hitler's Nazi cutlery goes on sale for £1,000.
You know what? I'd buy that if I had the money.
I'd buy that for $1.
I just
why would
think-
you buy it, Ben?
Because I just think it'd be really well made cutlery. And it'd have. I wouldn't use it. I'd put it in a case and display it. But I bet it's got little swastikas on the end of stuff.
Yeah.
Actually got engraved with the initials A and H.
Oh right! Wow.
God.
No swastikas on it.
No.
Yeah, they have. They've got the Nazi eagle and
yeah.
swastika.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
there we go.
That's exactly where I thought it was going to be on the cutlery as well. So yeah. Although that knife looks like a butter knife, doesn't it? It's not very... Oh, mind you, he's a veggie, wasn't he, Hitler? He was a vegetarian.
Apparently, yeah.
Nazis.
Thought meat made him aggressive.
Fun. It's been laid off the sprouts.
Oh, it says here, you may also want to throw up when you hear that Hitler may have actually used the cutlery himself. The items were part of a special release to commemorate his 50th birthday in April 1939.
Oh, so there's a few of them floating about?
Oh no, they were his personal
No, they were his
set.
personal ones.
Yeah. Cutlery was discovered in a house clearance in Dorset.
What the fuck?
How did it get there?
Because they were
Oh, hang
nicked
on.
by a British soldier
Well, it says,
who
yeah.
lived in the
Yes,
house.
well, it uses the word, they were thought to have been, quote, acquired by a British soldier who lived in the home.
I'll give you the technical military term for it.
Yeah.
Looting.
Yeah.
Punishable by shooting. Oh, it was anyway. I don't know if it still is. Probably it was in the 40s when you're strolling into anyone's home and going, that's a nice bottle of wine. I'll have that.
Yeah, well, it was
It's probably
probably,
thrown on that.
the set was probably, I'm guessing, initially looted by
Yes.
one of the first soldiers to storm the bunker or
Well, it
whatever.
says
And
the Brits invaded northern Germany. That's a fucking. I mean, had some nice engravement on that cutlery. I'm
Well,
not saying
they were
the
great
symbols.
engineers,
Ben, you're not helping with the whole fascist thing.
I'm not saying the symbol's good, but I'm just saying that that's some fine artwork.
look at the way he's waving his arm around, Mike.
I'm put my
It's
arm.
outstretched in front of him at a right
It's
angle.
not. It's not at a right angle.
He's got a bit of light coming to the window. Just above his
That
lip.
shadow does look like a moustache.
Come on, you fucking. If you had the money, wouldn't you buy something like that?
No.
No.
Really?
Well,
Only to sell on. If I thought I could make a profit from it.
Well, that's
I might
another
do that.
reason, but you know.
Yeah,
it's-
but I wouldn't have
Why
it
would you
to
want to
be in
keep
my
the
collection.
cutlery of a mass murderer?
Because, like it or not, he's one of the most important figures of the 20th century. That's a piece of history.
He's quite famous.
He is very famous.
If it was Gandhi's butter knife, I might have it.
What's the difference between Gandhi's butter knife and Hitler's cutlery? Just points of view, mate. Points of view.
That's the name of Mike's autobiography.
Gandhi's cutlery. Gandhi's
No,
butter
Gandhi's
knife.
butter knife.
My strategy for crushing the
establishment.
We will be as blunt as the butter knife.
Mike's Guide to Revolution. Gandhi's butter knife.
So first of all, you butter them up and then you shank them.
Right in the kidney.
Have you already started that Jedi course? Because that was pretty wise, man. Oh dear. Fuck it up.
Here we go. Auctioneer Richard Brommel said the cutlery was found at the deceased estate of the retired senior military officer. So someone in Berlin probably found them and sent them to him as a bit of a gift or a present or something. So if he's like a general or something, he'd have been hobnobbing about, wouldn't he? He'd have got to Berlin. He might pinch to himself, whatever.
If he wasn't the one who bought them, he might have confiscated or... I mean, not bought them. If he wasn't the one who
Chances
initially
are-
stole them, he's took that off someone lower down.
Yeah,
I'll look
that's
after that.
it. Yeah.
Thank you very
And
much.
what's that?
Well, it says...
Hitler's personal cutlery. I'll have that, thank you, private.
Because if you read on a little bit, it says it wasn't on display. He kept it in a drawer. So it's not like it was something he was proud of showing off to everyone, which, you know, thankfully.
Well, that's because he looted it.
Yeah, well, yeah, possibly, yeah. Or, like you said, confiscated it from someone who did loot it, but...
I read a great story actually. It was after the Falklands War, a group of Argentinian officers were touring a British army base, and the regiment involved had fought in the Falklands and taken several souvenirs, shall we say, and they were kept in the mess. And it wasn't until they were taking these Argentinian officers to the mess for a drink after. Shit, we've got fucking statues of General Gautieri in there. He pitched in the Falklands. Get the fuck up there and get him out the way! Get him out the way! So looting does go on. Souvenir taking does go on, but I like that.
Good on him. I'm sure there's a lot of stories like that. It's all part of taking over somewhere, though, isn't it? Just a bit of looting to be expected.
Cavalry regiment has got Napoleon's brother's chamber pot as a souvenir.
Well, hello.
They actually drink out of it.
Oh God.
Fill it with booze and dip their cups.
I hope they've cleaned it.
Oh yeah, it's clean. It's taken in like 1814. It's clean since then.
I still wouldn't fancy it, to be honest. Napoleon's brother pissed in that all the time.
Yeah, but they nicked off his carriage when they got to the baggage train.
They basically nicked his bog.
He went out one door, they came in the other. Oh, look at that, I'll have that.
Stole his toilet.
He stole his toilet.
He had nowhere to piss.
Yeah, I'd imagine it was his pants because he was getting chased down by dragoons.
Yeah, there is that.
Yeah. So, there you go, Hitler's cutlery. Only £1,000, in all fairness.
£1,000 each. Oh, the haul includes 2 knife, fork and spoon sets worth £1,000 each, and a single fork and small spoon sold together valued at £400. So yeah, it's not going to set the world on fire, but
No, but it's a piece of history. I'd certainly consider owning something like that. I wouldn't put it on, maybe not put it on display, but
I'll stick to
the rest of your Nazi paraphernalia.
I was going to say I'll stick to collecting me Transformers and things.
I'm a historian, Mike.
He's like that fucking priest in Father Ted, isn't he? He's got an old Nazi living under his cupboard.
Right, what's next in the world of weird?
Bizarre moment, it rains octopus as freakish storm sucks creatures out of sea.
And we all know octopuses are aliens.
What
Yeah.
a vision of hell.
There's actually a picture of a flying octopus.
No, God.
No way, that's got to be photoshopped.
It says octopuses and other sea creatures fell onto cars. Imagine, that's like a horror film, you're driving along and a fucking octopus slaps onto the window screen.
Through the
Splat.
windscreen.
Well, yeah, probably
And
heavy
dies
enough.
en route.
Oh, God, or dies on your face.
Yeah.
Or you die as it's on your face.
You're literally knocked out and the octopus is dead and just covering your face.
Well,
like
no-
a face hugger.
Yeah. Well, they're so intelligent, they'd probably take the wheel
Yeah.
so it didn't crash and kill you both. Sorry, human. And I've got a lovely image in my head of an octopus driving a car. He's got enough arms. And he can stand up to see over the wheel.
Yeah.
Ah.
I think octopuses are kind of cute.
Cartoon ones, but
No,
real ones make me want to puke them myself.
No, I quite like them. I'd have an octopus.
there
I
you
told
go.
you I'm going to befriend octopuses at SeaWorld and then they'll make me their king.
They let themselves out of tanks and go for a little mooch. They're fucking horrible.
Yeah, when they're
And
walking
open
on
jam jars.
when they're walking on four legs and they've got two samurai swords and two laser guns in the other four arms.
Well, they are.
And I'm their
films.
king.
You're not going to be their king.
I'm going to be their king, they're going to love me.
Should we have the fucking story, King Ben?
Drivers were left stunned as octopuses and starfish began raining down onto their cars during a freakish storm.
Sorry, can I just say starfish? There we go, sorry.
The creatures, along with mollusks and shellfish,
Yeah, that sounds fun.
were sucked out of the sea and dumped along with heavy rain and hail. Photos posted on social media show the marine life stuck to car windscreens after violent weather battered the Chinese coastal city of Qingdao.
Oh man, there is literally a starfish on a window.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a car, yeah.
Mm.
Wow. Well, yeah, that would freak me out.
It was hurricane force winds, 78 miles an hour.
Yep.
It says the hellish winds. Wow.
Oh.
Coupled with heavy rain and hail, shattered windows caused widespread destruction throughout the city. And it had octopuses in it.
Yeah. Imagine that fucking whole street sign's just come down. That's kind of shit.
Mm.
That is a serious fucking storm to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there you go.
Wow.
That would have freaked me out. Look at those. It looks like it's been hit by bullets. We're looking at a building that is riddled with holes. Looks like
No,
Rambo's.
I think they're mollusks.
No, they're holes from the hail, I
Yeah,
think.
the Wallace building was damaged during the storm.
Oh, right.
Flinging bits
Does-
of material at the
Does
building.
literally look like someone.
It looks like you asked Rambo to do like your paint work for you. Like, chip that paint off for me, Rambo.
His father an M60 at it repeatedly.
Yeah. I ain't using no chisel. Yeah, wow. I'm glad we live here.
Apparently it's happened 3 years in a row.
Fuck.
Oh man, those poor octopuses.
Maybe it's all the fucking pollution they insist on, like, thrusting skywards.
Yeah, I mean, did you read? I think it's Beijing where they actually have a big screen that shows the sunrise because the sky is so polluted in the morning.
Lord.
You can't see the sunrise. So after the sun comes up and burns some of it off, you get to see this fucking sun.
And you know a lot of Chinese buy fresh air from Canada.
Wow.
Jars of fresh air.
To, like, suck in,
Yeah.
like, oh, fresh air.
There's
Wow.
a fucking business opportunity.
Like $8 a jar fresh air from the...
What's stopping us
Mountains in
doing that? We
Canada.
put it in plastic
we
bags.
go up the top of the Wrekin, fill some jars, just weigh them about.
Well,
seal
we don't
them
even
up.
need jars, we use bags and it's so light, think of the postage costs.
Yeah.
With next to nothing. Fucking hell, we've come up with some money spinning ideas
We
this
have.
episode.
Demon
boys.
Busters and
Yeah.
and
Fresh
Boys of
air.
the Apocalypse fresh air.
Yeah, fresh from the hills of Shropshire, but they don't know we've done it in our back garden in Telford.
Now let's be honest for a bit.
Fuck that.
I'm not climbing the fucking Regan. Collecting fresh air.
It's for the international listeners and anyone not from Telford. That's a very large hill in our local vicinity, which people walk up for exercise and health reasons and
I like walking
fun.
the Wrekin.
Me too, about once a year, but there's people that do it every
So imagine
morning.
if you see someone you know You walk into
What you do, fill in your
bags. Jars. What are you doing? Getting some fresh air to the reeking. What do you think I'm doing?
I'm saying it's the Chinese people.
They're gonna call
£8 a bottle, mate. £8 a bag.
the men in white coats will be there.
It's better than selling your used underwear to the Japanese. You get more money for air.
They'll call the police. Say there's a weirdo on the Rampage on the Wrekin.
There's plenty of weirdos up the Wrekin.
Yeah, I guess. I slept up there once.
Yeah.
It was horrible. I was only a kid. Really froze to fucking
I
death.
think I was in the scouts and stepped to the campsite on the other side, I think.
Oh, I had no tent, no equipment. Me and my friend at the time, we were so naive. We went up there with a shitload of beer and basically nothing else. We were so naive. It was summer, but we didn't realise how fucking ridiculously cold it's going to get overnight and wet.
You had shorts.
More or less, yeah. And we didn't sleep a wink. We just sat there shivering like fucking talking all night. And even more tragic, I'll never forget how naive I was. I was able to get served in Aldi despite being only 16, and I thought, this is amazing. I'd never been in Aldi and seen how cheap it was before. It was all new to me. Bought a giant crate of beer, dirt cheap. We fucking lugged it all the way up to the top of the Wrekin. We were drinking away for a while. And we're only 16. We were expecting to be smashed. I looked down at it. It was like fucking... No, it's 2%.
Oh.
Is it Harold, King of the Brits?
Something like 2%
Was it that fucking little
strength.
French bottled beer you get then?
Yeah.
You just drink in the stubby bottles and you just drink and drink and drink and drink and nothing happens.
So we essentially were just pissing all night and weren't drunk and didn't sleep. So yeah, anyway, that's my Wrekin story. Back to the podcast.
I once found a pentagram burned into the earth up the Wrekin.
Wow.
It was like someone had literally marked it out in petrol and set it on fire.
Well, if you go
So it was
back
fairly
to-
big.
It was pretty big. It was on the ground, yeah. It was,
Wow.
it was in the grass, yeah. It was.
That was some sort of ritual, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, someone had been doing something up there.
Well, if you go back to our episode, Satanism, we figured
a
out that
three-parter, isn't
the
it?
largest Nazi occult
Satanist.
Satanist fucking group live in Shropshire, don't they?
Oh yeah, we did, yeah.
But they don't talk to journalists.
Something in the Ninth Circle or something, or
Something like that. Listen to the episode, you'll find out.
yeah.
Yeah. Because we can't
But
remember
Yeah.
either.
I can't remember 2 episodes ago. Never mind fucking what happened. Never
Exactly.
mind. That was an early one.
Do we have another
Yeah, one bit of news.
One
weird
more.
news?
Sex robot will turn down steamy romps if it's not in the mood.
Well, then what's the fucking point?
That's not the point of them.
I've got a girlfriend for that.
In the not too distant future, you could cuddle up to your cyber sex goddess only to receive the automated response saying she has a headache.
I have a headache. Not tonight, dear.
Imagine if that would do to your self-esteem.
Exactly. I can't even get my robot sex toy to fuck me.
Sophia's got to knock you back.
Well, she knocked back Will Smith.
Oh, what chance have you got then?
Exactly. Hey, come on. I'm in Will Smith's league. I'm a broadcast fucking journalist.
Yeah,
and I've got a
but-
cult
You got
with
one-
members.
You got one member.
And me, two plural,
members.
plural, 2 members.
Love robots have been invented with the intelligence to go on strike and shut down completely if pestered when not in the
Oh
mood.
my
What's
God.
the point of that, though?
Exactly.
Sexbot Samantha's ability to say no was demonstrated to an audience of stunned academics at one of the UK's leading science villages.
I do not want to fuck in front of all these people.
That's what it was. She's a bit self-conscious.
The robot has sensors hidden under her skin so she can respond to affection like a real life human.
Well, it's not though, is it?
But she also has a revolutionary electronic brain which puts her in charge in the bedroom.
Well, why do I want that?
Well, some men want the self-esteem to be destroyed.
That's true.
But you'd imagine your average man who
Oh,
needs
man.
one doesn't want that.
Imagine if you're like, you get off on being a cook.
Mm-hmm.
So, a cuckold. So, you buy a robot that turns you down for sex. when you could just ask normal women, regular human women for that and they'll turn you down.
Yeah,
But
you could do it organically.
maybe you can get like a dominant robot. I think that's what this point is. Maybe this is like a dom robot.
Yeah.
That like will turn you down. No, not doing it tonight.
I'm a little bit distracted, I'm sorry, Ben. There's a shadow on the wall behind you that looks like a fat man's penis.
It's the microphone.
Oh,
and the pop the spit guard. It does.
What's it look like?
Man's penis.
Looks like a fat man's penis.
I'll
I'm gonna be
take
so
a picture
careful.
and post
I'm
it.
going to be so careful not to put my
That's-
face anywhere near that. No.
I control you massively with a photo. Sorry, that's very visual and this is an audio medium, but you
Yeah.
have to trust me, listener. It is very distracting.
The sunlight is coming through the one window in Mike's flat, and it's reflecting. It's shining on my microphone and the spit guard, and it does look like a dong.
Very easily.
Can we close that curtain? Actually,
No, I just need to grow up and stop looking at the dong shadow.
Can we close the curtain? That would stop things.
Is it in your eyes?
It's shadowing a dong next to my head. So
I'm not going to take a picture. Just carry on.
Samantha is built to please with motorised hands, hips, and other body parts, and a face which bears a sneaking resemblance to Jennifer Lopez.
Oh, Jennifer Lopez.
I like her.
She has been designed to purr like a kitten and whisper endearments, but only if stimulated the correct way.
You are doing it wrong.
A microcomputer inside her plastic skull can also remember previous interactions with her employer to improve future experiences. She can also be switched between family, romantic and sex settings, including an ultra raunchy, extra naughty level depending on what you had in mind for the evening.
Well, I know what setting mine would be on. Family, little bit of incest. Oh wait, it doesn't mean that. What's the family setting then?
Where she's probably just PG and doesn't do anything.
Oh, so if you take her round to visit your mum and dad, she won't try and suck you off.
She won't talk about sex. She'll just make
Right.
conversation, I suppose.
She won't say,
Or limited conversation.
"Take me in the ass right now."
Oh no, she's on extra naughty setting.
I'm sorry, mother. I mean,
We do the Arctic
she was-
hauling again. Shut up!
Samantha is the name of the thing, and the name of the I want to say thing.
It is a thing.
Already exists as a prototype, but is expected to go into mass production soon with a £3,600 price tag. She was invented by Spanish scientist Dr. Sergi Santos and his very understanding wife of 16 years, Maritza Kisamitaki.
that'll do.
Yeah.
Well,
The thing is, you're going to end up with Westworld. These things get more sophisticated, where you can't tell the difference, and we're all going to spend like stupid amounts of money going to Westworld
We
or
should-
Samurai World
we
or
should
whichever
read
worlds
the-
they've got.
sorry, we should read the last little bit just to explain. The emergence of sex robots and ultra-realistic love dolls has outraged those who complain the silicon bimbos are demeaning to women. So the couple decided to give Samantha a mind of her own with responses that can be impatient and irritable as well as charming.
But I bet those same females who are complaining won't be moaning when they bring out a male one that can just like has got a robotic penis.
They don't need them. They've got little robot penises they keep under the bed.
Yeah,
They
but
don't need a full man.
this thing it just won't go down. It'll be powered for ages. I mean, they'd look. There's no too much beer scenario, as you alluded to earlier, Gaz.
I have no problems in that department, as previously stated. The thing is, though, if you could get that male robot to cook and clean, they'd probably love it, and we would be replaced quite quickly.
Well, the human. If you sex robots actually take off, and then it comes to the point
think
where
they have.
where they're affordable for
That's
your
true.
average working man, the human race will die out anyway because no one's going to need to leave the house, are they?
This could be our downfall, because the nature of, I'm no expert, but sort of the nature of economics is technology does become cheaper, doesn't it, as it
Yeah.
develops and it blah, blah,
It gets
so,
smarter, it gets easier to produce.
So every person that's alone in the world, maybe for a bargain price, like buying a second-hand car,
let's say it goes down to like 1,200 quid
Yeah,
in,
a
in,
grand
in
or
5
something,
years' time.
then a lot more people would have them. You're right, that might have an adverse effect on pregnancy and repopulation. That could be. Maybe they don't kill us in an uprising, we just extinct ourselves.
Yeah.
Maybe we evolve, we lose through evolution the ability to have potent sperm. Because we're not...
Children of Men style scenario.
Yes.
God, Clive Owen's a fucking
That's
awful actor.
But that's a brilliant film though, isn't it?
It's an alright film.
I like that film.
I just hate Clive Owen.
I don't know, it doesn't...
I just think he's got no charisma. I think he's got no presence on screen. When he did that
He
King
looks
Arthur,
hard, though.
When he did that King Arthur film, you ever seen that?
I don't think so, no.
You got a good supporting cast. what's his name? Ray, the Cockney chap.
Oh,
Mears.
No.
Ray Winston.
Ray Winston.
Ray
Ray
Mears.
Winston. Ray Winston
Where
plays.
does that come from?
Well, Ray Mears is a survivalist. But you got Ray Winston and Clive Owen as King Arthur, and he had just like no presence whatsoever, no charisma, no presence. And I think it's the same with every film he's ever been in.
Well, there you go.
I have an
Clive Owen,
irrational,
Ben.
irrational hatred for Clive Owen's
You have
performance.
an irrational hatred of a lot of things, Ben.
Not necessarily. They're all justified. in my mind.
Maybe. Okay, so...
Can we call a piss before we do full Alex?
Yeah. And we'll wrap this bad boy up.
Yeah. And we are back from a bit of an extended piss break where we fell in love with the Rocky saga all over again.
Went on a
Me and
large-
Gaz did.
a large-
Mike was just sat here looking confused.
Mike sat here smoking dope and me and Ben just went on a Rocky Balboa
20
love
minute
fest.
Rocky Balboa love fest. I tell you what, though, for 17, looked fucking good in that film.
Yeah. Yo, Ben, we did it! Right.
Right, is it time for Never Go Full Alex, the
Yeah.
internet's most popular game show in this flat?
Yeah. Should we give an explanation, Ben, of what it is?
Right, so basically, Mike finds a random weirdo from the internet, and then we compare that to an Alex Jones rant, and we decide who has gone more full Alex.
Yeah.
And I'm still waiting for that reply, Alex. I'll meet you in Dawley Town Hall. You can sleep on my sofa if you want after.
Can I come round? Because I really want to get high with him.
I don't think he gets high.
Oh, he does.
Yeah?
On the Joe Rogan show, he just smoked dope and drank whiskey. It was
It was
brilliant. Then he
awesome.
started going on a rant about interdimensional paedophilic fucking
Well,
demons.
I'll tell you
and-
what, you come round with him and get high and drunk, and then we'll have
Before
the
the
fight.
fight, yeah.
You see,
You
I'll
might be in with a chance then.
I'll be in with a chance anyway. He's a fat 50-year-old
Yeah,
man.
have you, man?
You're
Have you?
delusional.
He's not going to have me. I'm a train killer.
Right. Let's go for
Yeah.
Alex.
Let's go for Alex. Insert intro music here.
Have we got a theme tune for this one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we have. Sorry, I'm being a dick. Play the theme tune.
Were you trying to get crazy with this, eh? Don't you know I'm loco?
Right, who's this then?
This
It's
is-
Kat Kerr. RWW News took authority over Hawaii's Kilauea volcano. She's got pink hair and she's wearing an American flag.
Please tell me RWW is something like Real World Wrestling.
Right Wing Watch.
Oh, no.
Oh, this is
fucking
some
amazing.
Not as much fun.
So she's obviously right wing, or they think she is. Right wing watch thinks she's.
Yeah. That
Okay.
sort of.
Thinks she's a dangerous lunatic.
Yeah, basically.
Well, she's got pink hair and an American flag around
Usually
her
the
neck.
pink
She's
hair-
a goddamn terrorist.
The pink hair usually comes from the left.
Yeah,
Remember
but
that
everything's mixed
baby,
up.
that baby consent woman? Yeah.
Well, okay, let's hear what she's got to say.
So we're going to speak against the volcano also. And so we say we take power over all the power of the enemy, trying to use that volcano in any way to bring destruction. We command the host of heaven to go and begin to affect the lava flow, the direction of the lava flow, because we don't want it flowing towards people's homes or in general in areas where people are living. There's some parts of the island that they don't have people on there. So I want the host to redirect that lava flow and begin to shred it. I know that sounds wild, but let me tell you, they are sent for us to command. We're going to see what is going to happen, because this is something new. We have authority over volcanoes. We have authority over earthquakes. We can tell them that they're not going to shake the earth, that they won't bring destruction to the people. We can even tell them to stop. Christ, stop the storm. So while we're taking power and authority over the devil, controlling that volcano, people will be laughing about this. I totally ignore them. Just ignore them. They don't know what they're saying, and they don't even know what's going on. They don't understand spirit realm authority. They don't understand that Jesus made us joint heirs, but I do. So I take authority over that volcano. I command it to cease exploding, shooting out the lava. Let the pressure be released, but without any destruction to people. I command that lava, you will stop flowing, and you will crystallize before you touch any more people or the properties. In Jesus' name, we have the host of heaven up there shredding that stuff, and we're commanding it to cease and cease in Jesus' name, because we have the right to use that.
Well, hot dog, we have a wiener. You know what? I want to put her theory to the test very simply.
Yep.
Let's take her to Hawaii, put her in front of that lava flow, and let her shout at it for a bit, and then when it sets her legs on fire, it'll be like the scene from, what's that Tommy Lee Jones from Volcano, right? Where that guy jumps into the lava. We just see her slowly melt until there's nothing left but pink hair, which then sets on fire, and we go, maybe we don't have authorities over volcanoes.
Yes.
That's my take on it.
I think it's a sensible take, then. I'm going to be honest, for the first good chunk of her speech, I was thinking, I haven't got a fucking clue what this woman is babbling about. Like, I literally didn't understand what she was talking about. I clogged on somewhere near the middle that she controls the volcanoes. And we can tell earthquakes to stop. So during an 8 on the Richter scale,
yeah.
stop!
When she's in, like, I'd have loved her to have been at, like, Fukushima in Japan. When
She was asleep.
She was asleep. They had that 8-point-something tsunami, 300-foot tsunami coming at her. I command you to stop in the name of the Lord! Ah! Yeah, pretty much.
Batshit crazy, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Lunatic.
But let's just... I will fucking put some money up for her going to Hawaii.
Yeah, we could start a Kickstarter campaign. Let's put it to the test.
That's what we should do, boys, right?
Mm-hmm.
We should start Kickstarter campaigns for these numpties who think they've got this sort of power.
So they could go prove it, yeah?
So they can go and prove it.
That sounds like an idea to me. We may be paying for their death, but...
Well,
evolution.
Our next episode is the Darwin Awards.
Yeah, survival of the fittest.
Survival of the fittest. These people, as I said last week, probably shouldn't be allowed.
Remember, Ben, I'm sorry to do this to you, but the Darwin is not the next episode because although we're recording it in the past as we're speaking now, in the continuum of time in the podcast uploading, we're actually speaking now from the future. So the Darwin Awards isn't coming up next; it's already happened.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's being released next.
Yeah, but we're in a time paradox. Yeah, when they hear this.
Shit, yeah, of course. Sorry. As we found out from the Darwin Awards episode...
We're so high.
As we found out from the Darwin Awards episode, evolution, baby.
Survival of the fittest.
Didn't I say last week that these people shouldn't be allowed to live anymore? Or something along those lines.
You usually wish people... Yeah, I was going to say, you usually wish death upon people. Sometimes it's me.
No, I've never wished death on you. We'd have to find a new host for a start. That'd be a pain in the ass. It took just long enough to find you. I can't think of anyone off the top of my head to replace you with.
I'm irreplaceable, Ben.
No, because I haven't found anyone better.
You'll be one of them saddos on those groups. Oh, we'll take any host. We'll
it's like Starship Troopers. You're the Sergeant Gaz until you're dead or I find someone better.
Yes, sir. So,
yes, sir.
should we hear what Alex has got to say?
Let's see what Alex is going to say. Oh my god, everyone knows elites marry horses. Great
title, innit?
It's a great title.
Oh, Lord.
I mean, it's like the Southern Poverty Law Center and the White House mouthpiece, the mouth of Sauron, Media Matters, came out last week and said, Fox News, CNN, picking up Alex Jones's conspiracy theory that they're letting illegals in. Letting them in? Hell, they're paying to ship them wherever they want to go. I mean, I have it in triplicate. ICE whistleblowers, emergency managers of major cities, video of it. I mean, you think I just get up here and say hydrofluorosilicic acid will reduce your child's IQ by at least 10 points, Harvard study? You think I just made that up?
Yes.
7-fold increase in bone cancer? You think I'm not making jack crap up, okay? I'm not making nothing up. Everybody knows, that's another cliche, but it really is true, that elites kill their own family members, marry their horses, dress up like werewolves and tear children's throats out, sacrifice children on fiery altars, bloody altars, have giant wars, make everyone worship them as God, and then become so psychopathic they commit suicide. I mean, if you study ancient corrupt societies in Rome, you name it, though, it would end up basically that if the leader or group of leaders had nuclear weapons, they would detonate them just so they could destroy the earth.
Wow.
So what the fuck was he on about?
I don't know. That's the thing. They kill their wives, they kill their families, they marry their horses, they sacrifice them on bloody altars.
What was the werewolf
They
bit?
dress up as werewolves and cut children's throats.
Who?
The elites. Do you know anything?
Well, you know what? I thought the other one was talking batshit crazy, but I like Alex on this one.
I think he's took the biscuit, to be honest. I mean, I don't know. I actually know, because we know the elites do some weird shit. We've seen the video. What's it called? Grove.
Bohemian Grove, yeah.
I mean, they're not ripping throats out, but they are having a bit of a weird old time.
I didn't see anyone marry a horse.
No.
I think Alex might have picked it, in my opinion. What are you
Oh,
saying,
I
Ben?
think Alex's werewolf horse marrying family sacrificed. I mean, she's crazy. Don't get me wrong.
She's a close
But
second.
you know, I think Alex is gonna pip it this week. Just literally by a nose.
Hey! Get you.
Is that the King of Puns? It's the first one of the episode.
Must be.
Oh,
so.
I'll take that crown.
Take it. What are you saying, Mike?
Yeah, man, you gotta go with Alex on that, haven't you?
I think that about sums up another wonderful episode.
Absolutely.
It's coming home.
Football's coming home. We need the John Barnes.
We'll get taken off.
We need a John Barnes rap. Mike, can you put the John Barnes rap in here?
Catch me if you can, because I'm an England man.
Get round the back.
3 lions on my chest.
3 leopards, technically.
Ooh, get you. We'll have to change the whole fucking
The
song.
whole nickname of the 3 lions and the songs are wrong. It's actually 3 leopards. They're not lions.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
But they look like lions.
Yeah, but that's because they're heraldic and no one had a fucking clue what a lion looked like when they drew it.
That's a new word on me, heraldic. What does that mean?
It means like a griffin is like a heraldic beast.
Okay.
They thought they existed, so they just drew what they thought they looked like.
Okay.
When
But
they
they were guessing.
When they were knocking the lions up,
Yeah.
they're like, someone has seen a picture of something or other. They went, oh yeah. Someone has seen a picture of a lion or a drawing of a lion. Oh yeah, that'll do. But it's actually leopards.
Well, fucking 3 leopards on a shirt. It's coming home.
It is.
Fire up the hype train, baby. Boop, boop. All aboard. So yeah, should we
When
wrap
this
up?
comes out, we're going to be out, you know.
Oh yeah, we're
Yeah,
gonna be so
yeah,
depressed.
yeah.
Yeah.
The hype train will be over and we'll be like fucking wankers.
Over, the hype train will have
fucking-
derailed and crashed into a school, burst into flames, and we'll all be miserable and dead.
Yeah. And here's what it looks like if the train had crashed into a school full of bunnies.
But for now, the hype train is on full speed, top gear. Let's just go for it. Enjoy it while it lasts. Cheers, mate.
Spliff politics.
Yeah, split politics happening. So yeah, I would say, I don't know what I'm saying. Yeah, what we doing?
Let's just say that we're wrapping up, and that's been the Kill Dozer.
Yep.
Do go and look at a picture of it,
Definitely.
and yeah, that's it. So I'm gonna say I've been Ben. Don't drink the Flavour Aid. Don't join a cult.
Unless it's mine. I've been Gaz, and I will say good night and free Biff Tannen.
I've been Mike, thanks for listening. Peace out, and may the force be with you.
Yeah, you haven't passed yet. What if you fail your exams?
Yeah, well, you don't pass basic lightsaber training.
Oh dear.
Anyway, that's it.
It's coming home. Good night.
Good night.